makes sense!
You can't help but smile like a little bitch.
Shut up, fool!
Yeah, that's really bad. That's really, really bad. To me, this was flagrant.
Hey, welcome. Happy Labor Day. Who's here first? 8:32, awesome. Finally caught one of these before it went live. Well, congratulations. 10,000 Pine points to you. You're one step closer to winning a free trip. Well, earned trip, really. It's not free. Nothing's free in life. Contrary to what some people believe, like when it comes to student loans. One step closer to getting earning a trip to the luxurious Tropicana Casino and Spa in the beautiful Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, with me. One bed, one room, one night. Uber Scheiser, hey, just saw him a couple days ago. Brutal last hand, Uber. Brutal. And poker night. To read. Man, he took you for almost all you're worth. 5,000 Pine points to you. Maybe that will help ease the pain. And 1,000 Pine points to Alex Baptista. Some PineCreek to kill time at work. You're at work? It's Labor Day. Well, yeah, I guess on Labor Day you should do labor, right? And Richard Williams, you are a big loser. Please leave. So this PineCreek guy obviously believes in the talking serpent in the Garden of Eden. Of course. Who doesn't believe in the talking serpent in the Garden of Eden? That's just science. Yes, Rats Magazine. PineCreek loves a good triggering. And I must say, Captain Dadpool, you and the people in your panel gave me great joy, great pleasure. You gave me hope, meaning, and purpose. I literally got to check my messages this morning after I woke up, and one of my subscribers said, "Hey, Doug, look at this." And I go, "What's this?" And so I played it, and I literally laughed my pants off. Thank you so much. And I'm going to play it again. I'm not sure if I'm going to laugh the second time, but I found this so incredibly funny. Thank you. You guys did a great job of pretending too. I mean, like you didn't know it was a joke. Like you guys were in character the whole time. It was unbelievable how good you guys are. Like you guys are fantastic. Hey Myron, Do we have any job openings at the Wichita Home Office? Because these guys are good. It's all nothing available. Like, we got to get the Captain Dadpool to work for us. I mean, he is the straight face guy we need. Yeah, like, I'm serious. Obviously, when something's a joke, he can keep it. Like, he's like Dean Lewis. Yeah, he's that good. Yeah, see if you can get his contact info, and let's put him on the payroll. Okay, so let's welcome if you're new here. By the way, I will allow people to call in. Triggering the libs is incoming. I don't know if these guys are liberals. Well, there's a 66% chance that they're all liberals because they're atheists. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know these people. They could be flag-waving phony atheists. Anyhow, let's laugh together.
Can't hear it.
Yeah, no sound.
Let me know how the audio levels are. Oh man.
For scientific evidence for God, because science only gives
Just a hair louder. Get it a little louder and we'll be good.
Let me see if I can turn subtitles. There we go, subtitles.
That's not bad. Okay. Let's do it.
Even though they're not even accurate.
Seems like you get that's the stereotypical atheist. Man bun. Was that a man bun?
Oh, what a dick.
Or a
man bun. You're humanity.
It is a man bun. Come on, atheist. Stop that. Stop with the man bun. Stop showing your tattoos. Stop showing your devil bracelets and your devil chains. You're gonna scare everybody away. Why can't you just be like an apple pie faced boy like me?
Okay,
You
this
are
is
not
honestly the
an
same
apple
energy.
pie- Hold on.
Turn this off.
Same energy as I only respect.
Hold on. Turn this off, he says.
Hold on.
Guys. Let's listen to it all the way
Oh,
through,
the
okay?
voice of reason. What's her name? I gotta make sure. Is this that's highest quality? A little quiet. Let me turn it up the volume a bit.
Done.
Jimothy, that means
Oh,
you.
it's- I gotta go back a few seconds. Damn it.
This is so much fun.
science only observes.
Come on, atheist. Stop that. Stop with the man bun. Stop showing your tattoos. Stop showing your devil bracelets and your devil chains. You're gonna scare everybody away. Why can't you just be like an apple pie faced boy like me? Christians love me. They look at me and they think of their dad.
Okay.
Never thought of my dad.
I think you mean grandfather, but okay.
Grandpa.
That's pretty much it.
He's definitely the creepy uncle. Let's be honest.
What is
Wait,
this
wait,
bullshit?
Creepy uncle.
Did he actually have something to say about your content? Or
No.
just in front of your
No,
page?
he was
Wow.
No,
That
that's just
homonym.
being a
it
cunt,
was
apparently.
purely appearance.
He said he called me the C word.
Okay,
I'm responding to another apologist in this video. So he's like responding also,
Okay,
but
so-
he makes this quick few jabs at me for some fucking reason. This is 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago.
No.
Okay, so whenever Price was on, PineCreek in the chat said that he was sorry he was running late. He was running on color time, and that he gets to say that because his wife is a person of color.
Oh yeah. See, I already watched this. So when Pine Creek was in the chat, he said Bob Price was late and running on color time. This is what actually happened.
Thanks for the donation, Kent Hoven CPA. I'm not sure if side 9 is gone. I don't think so. He was on no, he's definitely not. He's back. Check revealed apologetics. He was on there the other day.
I gotta say, yeah. Well, why is it wrong to say colored when POC stands for person of color? I don't get it. Anyhow, my daughter actually the other day used the word colored to refer to black people, and I said, "Nikki, no, you can't do that, Nikki. Some people, especially atheists, get triggered when you say that, and they get really upset, and some of them even cry." Why am I pausing? Oh, I'm reading. I'm reading. See, look.
Royal Wolf, he's late, so he's running on colored people time, so he's not racist. Whoa. You know why that's funny, though? Because
So, what's this woman's name? Oh, yeah, he's coming up next. I can't read her name. I'm reading someone else, what they said.
my wife is of Caribbean descent, and she would laugh right now.
Yeah, and then I said my wife would laugh at that because of the Caribbeans, Trinidadians are notorious for running late. Do I have any Trinidadians watching right now who can verify that? Anyhow, back to this.
Yeah, and he's made some some sexist and misogynistic.
Okay, real quick. Real quick. This is going to be proof that I've had a bunch of whiskey. The only reason he should be running on colored time is if there's fried chicken or booty sex involved. What the fuck is this guy's problem?
I don't know.
It's like, one, these tattoos I got while I was a Christian. And my hair is like this because fuck you. That's why. The fuck. This is
Hey, no, Ricky, I gotta stop you right there.
You should look like me
what
and
the hair problem is.
Also, the thing is,
you know why I love this so much? I feel like a puppet master. Like they're allowing me to manipulate them. Thank you for allowing me to manipulate you. It's just like I'm just pulling their strings, getting them to react the way I want. Actually, I don't want them to react this way. I would assume that they would be mature and say, oh, this is funny. And I know exactly why Doug is doing this. It's because he knows that he's critiquing a very conservative Christian fundamentalist guy named Eric Hernandez, who many of them, if not very close to all of them, look at a guy like Captain Deadpool with his tattoos and his tank top. What is it? Tank top? It's been so long since I've worn one. And the man bun. And this is what they think. A lot of them, this is what they think. And so I'm just relaying how Christians are perceiving them. And I dare say accurately in many cases. Now, they could have realized that, but no, they feel offended.
No.
I'm not trying to I'm not trying to make Christians think of me as their fucking dad.
No, I don't want them to think of me that way.
That's weird.
Because you're a woman.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, you don't want someone to call you.
No,
someone
as
to call you
far
daddy?
as like being an apple pie atheist, I think you're looking at one right now.
Yes. Natty Nat, you look like a lot of my Mennonite aunts. So do you, Courageous. You look like my Hutterite neighbors when I was growing up. Making the bacon in the kitchen and having the apron on. And then helping to pick sweet corn later on.
You want to be apple pie.
I don't want to be apple pie. I'm just saying I am the one that Christians will approach and talk to.
What is?
Yes, see? That's the point I'm making. If you want Christians to approach you and talk to you, you got to look plain face like you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the plain face. I mean, you have the natural beauty, Natty Nat. You don't need all this makeup and garish eyelashes. And I mean, you're a beautiful woman as you are. I'm assuming you're a woman. I'm just pattern seeking here.
Isn't apple pie like America?
Ooh,
So
now I feel like a white face. Now I don't like that anymore.
So I gotta say
I guess
something.
he does
to
look
the
like
hair.
an apple pie if you smashed it.
So is apple pie America and apple crumble be Canadian because we're just a little bit better?
No, it's bacon apple pie.
Whoa.
Bacon apple pie with AR-15.
All right.
I understand.
We're giving Morgan too much to
pie
react to.
is a tier to strive for.
But also, fuck him because, like,
Rhubarb
okay, and I
strawberry.
understand that Ricky got the bulk of his tattoos as a Christian, but a lot of people, when they are raised in like super fundamental or evangelical circles, there's all these rules about what you can and cannot do with your own body and your appearance.
Yes. Courageous, you're making the same point I kind of was when I commented on Captain Deadpool. I was reflecting how Christians see you.
So the fact that atheists are now, like, they've deconstructed and they're trying to take back and feel more comfortable in their skin and decide, hey, I want to look like what I want to look like, not based on what other people are telling me to. Like, yeah, he can go fuck himself. Like
This is so much fun.
Is
he on TikTok?
No,
Not yet. Not yet, Archeo Wolf. But you know, I have a teenage daughter who might actually do all the work for me, because I don't like. This is YouTube's not my life. I don't want TikTok to be. I don't want any social media to be my life. This is why I do not schedule things. Like I didn't know I was going to go live this morning until maybe 45 minutes ago. I don't like this to rule my life. This is just for fun. But I do think if I can have fun on TikTok, I will do it. The thing is, like, I want to make some money for my daughter. Can you make money on TikTok? Like if she does all the work, I want her to get paid 50%, of course. Well, and then 10% to the Church of Atheism. But how do you make money on TikTok? Or do you guys just do it for the attention? I don't know.
I think so, no.
Of course not.
Yeah, also,
But
he
he's a
gives it the
bitch.
same energy of, I only respect gay people when they don't act gay.
Right.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? I love when gay people act gay. I mean, the hair, the clothes. What does acting gay even mean? Is it the hair and the clothes? Is it having a Jordan Peterson bedroom that's nice and neat and tidy? Like Jerry Seinfeld, he was neat and tidy, but he wasn't gay.
He's
You're
super
not wrong.
transphobic too.
So
Also, going back to the hair
I mean,
issue, okay, from the front, his hair looks exactly like your hair, Ricky.
Oh, no, that's a compliment. Thank you, Jimothy. From the front, my hair looks exact. No, I think you're lying a little bit. You're doing what the Old Testament authors did with the Canaanite killings, a little bit of hyperbole. But I mean, I like you, Jimothy. Thank you for the compliment.
No, it
Kinda
doesn't.
just
Don't
rubbed
insult
it in.
Ricky.
It looked like he was mimicking you. Like
Jimmy, don't you dare insult Ricky.
Looked like
This is what I mean. These guys are all trained professionals. I can tell. They're all in character. They're not breaking character. Like, these guys are good.
And one
Ricky
more
is
thing I want to
he's
add.
upset because Ricky has hair.
Yes.
And it's not even a bun. I call
Hair
it
envy.
It's like a paintbrush.
it is.
It's not big enough to call it a
And the
ponytail yet.
other thing,
Oh, hang on. I just got a text from the Wichita Home Office. We'll be doing an internal investigation into the incident. Any findings will be swept under the rug, and Doug will be transferred to another channel. Oh, really? You're investigating me, the front man, the on-air talent? Hey, Wichita Home Office, without me, you're nothing. Don't you threaten me, but you won't find anything against me.
thing I want to add is that there are a lot of gospel singers who also have man buns and are kind of babyface, and yet he doesn't call them out or anything. But oh no, an atheist with a man bun? Oh no, the end of the world. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Please fucking tell me how the fuck I'm supposed to dress as an atheist. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not,
last time I checked, I haven't
what
gotten
is the
atheist
dress
uniform
code?
yet.
Can we roast him on the show?
I mean, you
Mel.
could dress like Aaron Rob.
Naughty Mel.
Mel calls it a handle. Mel is.
Yeah, I thought it was called a
right
chat
on.
handle.
To be fair, how often is it that guys say that a girl's ponytail is their handle?
Yeah.
Let's just say,
Pigtails.
I mean, I like that.
Pigtails be
I like that you
handlebars.
just turn it around. Let's just turn it around. I'm okay with that.
I don't mind this being my wife's handle.
And like this is fucking out of nowhere. Like he's not even talking about me. Just
I'm there.
I feel like
No,
he's trying to be.
That's because he didn't have anything to actually say about your content because he didn't have any actual thing to debate it.
Oh man, you guys sound like some of the theists I talked to.
Ad hominem. You just forward ad hominem just because he
Oh, an ad hominem?
didn't actually have a point.
May I say something?
What's
Yeah.
an ad hominem? I don't know much about philosophy. What is that ad hominem? Is it when you just insult people and say they're wrong because you don't have any arguments against them? You just insult. That's the ad hominem, right? When you just insult people like the way they look or something. I got that right? Yeah.
please.
PineCreek sounds like a mental institution.
Oh, would that be an ad hominem? By the way, PineCreek, I got that name for my YouTube channel because that's the creek that ran in the back of our family farm. And then when you say back on a farm, it's always north in North America. And it's also a creek where I had so much fun, and it's a creek I almost drowned in as a kid. So it has a lot of sentimental value. But yeah, I can see how you might put some crazy atheists into an institution called PineCreek. I get that.
It does. Probably does.
Just saying. It sounds like a mental institution where Sarah Connor was locked up because the Terminator's going to get her.
I mean, actually, no. PineCreek sounds like a hospice.
Or that.
Me of Twin Peaks. Okay, I'm just gonna straight up say it.
I used to work at South Mountain.
It's a weird
security juvenile detention facility.
Like,
seriously, this guy who's commenting on your video, Ricky, and his profile picture on the the YouTubes. There is. He must be really fucking stressed because he has lost 60% of the hair he has in his profile picture.
It's not stress though, Archeo Wolf. I have far too much testosterone in my bloodstream.
He's jealous of your hair, bro.
I am.
That's really what it is.
Actually,
bring it up.
Actually, I was thinking, if someone is good at Photoshop, and the best submission I'll use. If someone can Photoshop this picture here in my thumbnail and give me like completely, shaved, bald, but keep the hair here, right? On the sides. What do you call that? Dome top or whatever. And then I'll put that as my profile pic. And so then when people see for the first time what I look like, they'll see my profile pic and I'm completely bald on top. And then when they they see me on live stream, they go, oh, he has a little hair. Yeah. Wow, you must be using Rogaine.
Yep, I see it.
Look, I mean, look at this. He looks vaguely suave, vaguely like, yeah, I've got thinning hair, but I look good.
Oh, thank you. That's a great comment. I look vaguely suave.
And then in his video, it's this: I'm desperate to retain the last vestiges of my youth.
Oh, no.
Frank Turret described.
But I'm not gonna buy.
Nothing like this guy, right? Retain the last vestiges of his youth.
A Corvette and date a stripper. That's what he's saying here.
What about a stripper?
Retain the last vestiges of my youth.
Oh, no.
Frank Turret described.
But I'm not gonna buy a Corvette and date a stripper. That's what he's saying here.
Dude. Yeah. Corvettes cost money. So do strippers.
Are you sure he didn't say anything else about you? Because you're in the thumbnail. Like,
no, that's where I have it.
Oh, okay. I was like, did he put you in the thumbnail?
No, he's in the thumbnail on mine.
DigitalGnosis says, oh my God, they're so triggered and they're looking at pics of you.
Dude, okay, so he looks like...
My guess is they're just having fun, and probably alcohol's involved with some of them.
Saul Goodman was trying to be Joe Exotic.
Oh, another compliment. I am Saul Goodman trying to be Joe Exotic. I will take that. That's good.
Okay, he honestly looks like a melted Ken doll.
Another compliment. Ken dolls. I mean, what he's saying is that if you were to imagine the perfect man and build that man out of clay, it would be me. But just melted down.
He does.
I don't know.
He looks like he's not allowed to go within 1,500 feet of a school.
Yeah. Oh, that's mean.
No, it's not. It's an observation.
Yeah, he looks like Bob Odenkirk on a budget.
Bob Odenkirk on a budget. These guys are good.
Speculation slide.
He looks like
he's repressed.
Brand Bob Odenkirk.
Did he just say that you're repressed, Vicky?
I said he is.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought the video was playing for a minute. I'm like, whoa.
It was playing, but I had it.
Oh, come on. Who else do I sound like?
Are we going to keep watching the video?
You sound like you're at the bottom of
the
well.
So in all seriousness now, Captain Deadpool, in all seriousness, the context is you talking to Eric Hernandez, right? Eric Hernandez is a very conservative fundamentalist Christian, yes? Yes. So what I was doing is I was looking at you and I was trying to think of how they are perceiving you, and I said that out loud. That's all seriousness. Now, if your goal is to scare Christians away, Christians like Eric Hernandez, then you should look like you. Well, you're not going to scare Eric Hernandez away per se, but his followers, the people who listen to him, They will take one look at certain people. And, this is not fair, but this is life. Life's not fair. Based on how we're raised and the culture we're in, we look at people and we make judgments. And I'm just letting you know, which I bet you agree with me on, is that this is how you are viewed. And I will also make a prediction. You kind of like it. You kind of like it when people fear you. I do. I often tell, like, even though I don't look like a tough guy or anything, I'll say that I got the power of the evil one on my side and I work for Satan. And there's some Christians who are legitimately scared of me because of that. I say that. It kind of makes me feel good. I'll admit it. I like it. It's like I'm watching Stranger Things. Yeah, I know I'm behind. I'm watching Stranger Things, and it makes me feel like L, 11. But speaking of Stranger Things, this guy here looks like he could be one of the kids on Stranger Things. Okay, that's all I wanted to say about this. So no hard feelings, Captain Deadpool. I was just having fun. But if you want to have hard feelings, that's up to you. I wanted to play something else. Rob Rowe, SentinelApologetics. I've known Rob for a long time. PineCreek is a terrifying entity. Yes, very terrifying. Yeah, Aaron Ra is a perfect example of someone who, can you imagine Aaron Ra getting a typical 1960s haircut, shave his beard off, wear a collared shirt, lost, I don't know, how many pounds does Aaron Ra need to lose? 70? Lose 70 pounds. Maybe, yeah, just a haircut. You don't have to dye your hair or anything. That's too vain. He would, and then cut out all swearing. I guarantee you, Christians like Eric Hernandez would be more likely to take him seriously. It's not fair, but that's life. I can't wait what you have to see. Oh, you're here, Rob. Well, 5 hours, 44 minutes. I'm just going to go to the parts where you compliment me, of course. No, I don't know if it's really compliments. I look like a pizza delivery guy who has a side job at H&R Block during tax season. That's funny. That's really funny. But yeah, to sum up with these guys, it's like, if they're serious, which I'm not sure they are, but if these guys were serious in their expressions, please, you need to learn how to relax. My goodness. You need to be a little more dead inside, like this guy. This guy is SentinelApologetics. He's a role model on how to be dead inside. Because all he cares about is the data. And I just want you atheists out there, like especially these people, to be more like, watch his content. Just watch how dead he is. It's so good. Are you smiling, Rob? Yeah, he's smiling right now. What did I want to play? Yeah, let's start over here.
So it's, at the end of the day, it's all on them. I mean, I can pity these people, but it's all on them. And
pity which people? I think you're talking about atheists like me. Maybe not. Maybe you're talking about Christians. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So if you find any of, and I've received emails as well. Like I've received emails from Christians saying, I was watching Doug's stream. There's certain questions he raises.
Okay, Rob, how many emails have you received? I gotta know. So Rob's saying he's received emails about me from concerned Christians. This warmed my heart. This is a Christian admitting that I'm having impact. Hear that, Satan? I'm making a difference for you. Yeah, give me a raise. If you're good at something, never do it for free. Yeah, Joker taught me that.
I find them sort of somewhat disheartening, blah, 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 blah. And, 'Cause, 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 'c when I read these emails, I just have to wonder, like,
yeah, Rob, what are you wearing? You look like a Presbyterian / warlock / Catholic / metrosexual somebody. I don't know. Is this what you wear before you go to bed? You ensconce yourself in Corinthian leather. No, it's not leather. Velvet. We had stuff like this on our walls back in the 70s.
I find them sort of somewhat disheartening, you know, blah 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 blah. And you know, when I read these emails, I just have to wonder, like again, if you've written this email and you're listening to me right now, don't take this as don't take this personally. I'm not attacking you or criticizing you. I'm sort of just trying to wake you up.
You want them to be woke
into realizing that there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, because you're a universalist, or you lean that way. I agree with Rob. There's nothing to worry about. Pretend everything you know about Christianity is maybe false, and you know, if there's a God and you go to heaven, if there's no God, you won't know that you're not in heaven.
All the more, in other words, don't fall into the trap. And maybe Doug's purposely doing it as a trap, maybe not.
Always assume it's a trap when you talk to me. And then if you're a mature Christian, it should not make a dent. Should not matter. If you're an immature Christian and you're wavering and you're doubting, then yeah, you might talk to me and then throw up in the bathroom later.
But it's a trap nonetheless, where you fear, like, oh no, epistemologically, like, my whole worldview has to change, and I don't know what to believe anymore, and I put so much investment in emotions and time.
What? So much investment in what? Emotions? You don't want to encourage them, Rob. You're encouraging the emotional part. We don't want to do that. So what you should say is, you've put in these emotions, but that's stupid. Don't worry about the emotions. Be dead inside.
Blah, and there's the irony, right? Or so you think, right? What you know may not be so. That should be your mantra.
Or mantra. Mantra. Say mantra.
Because, see, those who actually care about data, in other words, those who are trained scientifically, would a scientist have...
This is good, what you say, Harab.
...an emotionally anxious response if they encountered the passive-aggressive street epistemological motivations of someone like Doug?
Passive-aggressive street epistemological motivations like Doug. Oh, that's not poisoning the well, is it? But yeah, even scientists have emotions, Rob. But I get what you're saying. Continue.
The answer is no. The scientists would just be like, all right, you've raised that point. Thank you for that, because that's going to further my...
Yeah, DigitalGnosis says, if you doubt because of Doug, you just don't care about data. That's sort of what you're implying here, Rob. Can someone be even better than you, Rob, in examining the data, spending their life delving deep into the data, and still listen to a guy like me and have doubts because of the questions I pose? But I get what you're saying. If you have no neediness, no emotional attachment to this stuff, then a guy like me could say, ask a question to raise doubt, and they go, oh yeah, maybe I'm wrong about this. If I'm wrong, no big deal. I'll change and change my mind, change my actions if necessary, and that's that. But that's very difficult to do in Christianity, right? Because if you're wrong about the big stuff, like if you're wrong that if there's no heaven, I mean, whoa, that's a big one. If you're wrong that Jesus never rose from the dead, whoa, that's a big one. And that means there's probably no Holy Spirit that Jesus talked about. Jesus probably wasn't God. And all those times when I think Jesus was there comforting me and helping me, that was either in my imagination or was really humans doing it. Means that my foundations and my hope for a future are gone. Pretty hard to separate the emotions from that stuff, right?
My research and further the questions that in other words, it's actually helping the scientist make further discoveries if required or get closer.
So Rob's admitting here that if you're a Christian and you act more like a scientist, then what I do is only going to make you better. My YouTube channel is a service for Muslims, Christians, Jews to become better Muslims, Christians, Jews. I should get a cut of your tithe. If you are a believer and you believe that you should give money to the church or your local community, I should get a cut because I'm helping you be a better Christian. I'm not demanding it. I'm just saying it would be nice.
The truth with respect to what they're trying to pursue, and that's why I engage with these people, because I can be in my own echo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
As a Christian, I could be. Yes, I'm appealing to scholarship and peer review and all that stuff that try and avoid being in that echo chamber. But I could still very well be in an echo chamber, even though I'm aware I shouldn't be, but I could be, even slightly, in those moments of where we.
Yeah, you said something else that I found interesting. You said I should be more like Myth Vision. I used to do stuff more like that. I've had Robert Price on. I've had Dennis R. McDonald on. I've had Richard Carrier on. I've had Mike Licona on. What else have I had on? Well, I've had Gary Habermas on indirectly through another channel. Thanks, Joshua. I used to do more stuff like that, but I'm a meta guy. Like, I understand that for most, and the things you're admitting this here, Rob, for most Christians, these are not the reasons they believe. For most Christians, what Dennis R. McDonald has to say is irrelevant. What Robert Price, Richard Carrier, even Mike Licona, what he has to say is irrelevant to them. So if I'm trying to lead the most people to hell, then you don't focus on those things. You focus on the real issues for them. Why waste your time? Life's too short. Okay, I'm going to open up the room. And anybody can call in, I guess. Mr. Dadbot. What's his name? Captain Deadpool. If you want to come on, you can. And I'll tell you exactly how to dress. Oh, Nathan, if you're here, I want you to tell me why you took your shirt off the other day on live stream. You know that scares away the Christians, right? Mr. Dadbot. Oops. There was some guy saying his dad's a Southern Baptist preacher. Wake him up and ask him to come on. I know last time I had a horrible title for setting the ambiance for a receptive atmosphere. I said something about making Christians look silly or theists look silly. Oh, and you know what I saw the other day? Poor Mike Licona. Poor Mike Licona. He was on Trinity Radio the other day talking about his supernatural experiences. Check your email. Okay. I see nothing in my email that's current. Room's open. But yeah, I was just thinking about Mike Licona and the trash can lids and him believing that Ouija boards has something to do with demonic forces. Let me very quickly debunk Ouija boards. Ouija boards do not work with blind people. For some reason, the serpent, the evil one, the devil, hates blind people so much that he will not use his demonic forces with blind people when they play with Ouija boards. Go ahead. If you don't believe me, try it. Get 4 blind people in a room, completely blind people, give them a Ouija board, ask them questions, and have the spirit guide them to the answers. Now listen to me, Christians. If there's any Christians listening who thinks there's something evil, demonic with Ouija boards, listen to what I just said. If I am right that Ouija boards don't work with blind people, that they can't even find the letter or the number on the board when they can't see. If I'm right about that, you ought to doubt all these other spiritual experiences as well. Because the Ouija boards is a big one that people use for demons. Am I saying it wrong? Isn't it Ouija? Are there Braille Ouija boards? No cheating. No, you can't use Braille Ouija boards. Now, another thing scientists have done is they put a string or a wire or something on top of that little thing that you move around on a Ouija board. Now, if it's a spirit causing it to move or leading it, then the wire or the string is going to lead to that direction. If it's humans, then the bottom of the platform, the bottom of that thing moving is going to lead it. So all you have to do is look at that string. If it's being pulled, that's humans doing it. If the string is pulling the thing, then it's the spirit. Too bad so many people can't think scientifically. Nick H., thank you for the donation. Doug, if you get on TikTok, I will follow you. I will follow you. Anywhere you go, I'll come. What? That's not how it goes. I have 1 million followers on TikTok. You do? Who are you, Nick H.? And what have you done with my child? Hey, Nathan. I can't hear you. Don't worry, Nathan's smart. He will fix this within 30 seconds. And if he doesn't, then my whole worldview will crumble. Yeah, Nick H, 1 million followers. What's your TikTok handle? Nick H? Is it Nick H? Still can't hear you. Try refreshing. Nada. There you go. I think. Say something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got you now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Cool.
Why'd you take off your shirt the other day?
Because I was affected by external circumstances. I should know what. I actually thought it would be effective, and maybe I was wrong, because I think the people in his chat thought that I was kind of like, just some like autistic retard or something, and so there were, you know, their kind of stereotypes about why precept works, which is because it makes you have a very good bench press and stuff like that. I wanted to kind of like clash with some of those kind of stereotypes. So I thought, if I just take my shirt off and don't care whatsoever, this might mess with them. I don't know how effective it actually was, though. Might have just been weird.
What was the response in the live stream chat? I didn't even check.
I can't remember at the time. I think I've actually got respect from some people. So like the host, for example, he said it was a Chad move. So that shows, like, for someone who's in that psychology, right, that it maybe just the fact that I didn't care about it, that I wasn't like embarrassed or anything. I just didn't react as if I'd done nothing. You know, they kind of. But yeah, I can't remember the exact reaction in the chat. But before that, they were saying, you know, Nathan needs steak and to lift some weights. That's why he. That's why he doesn't believe in precept.
I forget where I was. Was it on my channel the other day? I said, if you would whip the butt of probably 95 out of 100 people, no, 99 out of 100 people on a street corner, right? Any random person.
I mean, pretty much. Like most untrained people, just don't know like what to do, right?
What about
there are also people who can be.
What about a farmer who's 300 pounds who has zero training but is just big? What would you do with a guy like that?
So I mean, everyone's got to strike his chance, right? If you're talking like one-on-one, the dangerous thing about striking is that you can always get knocked out, right? They just need to hit you in the right place. Now, obviously, there's stuff I can do about that, like managing distance and leg kicks and things that a lot of people who are untrained don't know how to deal with. Like if you can like keep teeping someone away, people struggle to just get in the space to throw a like haymaker.
But if I was like 6'5", 300 pounds, and I met you, and I had zero training, and say I had to fight you, I would just slowly come at you, get my arms around you, and squeeze.
That's worse. That's worse for you, right?
But what would you do?
If you don't know what an underhook, I'm gonna underhook you. I'm just gonna move around to the back, and then I'll just choke you.
So basically, the only chance you would have then would be to get behind me and go for the neck.
Yeah, but unless you know how to wrestle, you can't stop me from going where I want to go, right? Like that's. Unless, I mean, like, there's a certain way at which it's going to get kind of difficult. You know, like if you watch the old Pride fights of Bob Sapp versus like, is it like Imanari and stuff like that? But like I've competed in the absolutes before, which is if you win your weight category in grappling, you know, you go in with like everyone who won their weight category, right? And I've trained with people who turn up at the gym and, you know, they are 6'5" and 120 kilos and stuff. And you just sweep them. Like, they don't know how to not get swept. There's nothing they can do about it. Obviously, a street fight's a different situation. So if they've got friends or something, like that's stupid. I just don't want to get involved. But
what do you think of that? So this is from Costa Kim at Productions. I asked someone to make me bald. Can you make it like? Is it cut off? Did I not? Maybe I should send you the original. I wish I could see the very, very top, but that's pretty good. do you think?
It needs a little bit more balding by the crown.
Yeah,
I
can
think.
you use your
Like-
Photoshop, even if it's not in the picture, to extend it upwards? Actually, he gave a couple.
Yeah.
He gave it a couple copies.
They need to build the head a bit. Yeah.
Let me see here. Maybe this one's better. No, it's the same.
Did you count how much time you spent insulting him to them like insulting you in the response? By the way,
I don't know if they were. I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they're brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, but there was so many of them. The odds of all of them being brilliant is very low. But if they were brilliant, then they would have known, oh, he's just trying to trigger us. We're not going to fall for it, but we're going to try to trigger him back, sort of thing. I don't know.
I don't know that it was that, but my view is that maybe I don't know how firmly they believe any of the stuff they said though. I think they were just sort of, like with the in-group and saying, yeah, screw that guy who just insulted our guy. Like it was that sort of view.
Yeah. Anyhow, anything else you want to say?
No, that's all, to be honest.
Is life boring?
Can't remember.
Is life exciting?
I saw Jordan today. I met Jordan the priest today at his workplace.
Oh, really?
In real
Was
life.
he sober this time?
Yeah. He was sober this time, but we went for a drink after. But yeah, in the prison, we met a cannibal.
You met at prison?
Yeah, we went. He took me for a tour of the prison where he works.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really interesting. People doing dirty protests, like putting poo through the door, cannibal, lots of strange.
Did you get to talk to any of the prisoners?
Yeah, we talked to the cannibal guy through the door and a few other people who, like Jordan, I guess.
An actual cannibal you talked to?
Yeah, an actual cannibal. He was kind of, like a lot of these people are clearly very mentally unwell and have had terrible childhoods. And so, this guy was kind of all over the place. Mid-conversation, he was clearly very paranoid. So he thought that Jordan was like laughing at him. And he was like, why are you laughing? This is serious or something. Jordan was like, no, I'm not. Like it was just really kind of odd.
Did you ask him if it's true that brains taste like chicken?
I didn't ask anything like that.
So he's been convicted of eating other people, killing them and eating them?
I'm not sure if that's his crime. But apparently he's done that stuff while he's been in prison and like at someone's finger or something.
Oh, it reminds me of in Canada about, I don't know, a decade ago now, a guy went on a Greyhound bus, sat right in the back, and then during some point in the trip, he started eating the person next to him. Wow. He like knocked them out or something, and the whole bus, people started screaming, the bus stopped, everybody fled. And I don't know why, but nobody intervened, and the guy just killed and ate the person.
Right.
If you were there, you would have got behind this cannibal, choked him out.
Depends. Maybe I'd have done nothing. You never know in those situations unless you're in them. But the prison's just a horrible place. I think if anyone was sent there who was mentally well adjusted and stuff, they would come out a worse person who was more likely to hurt others and do like bad things. And that's sort of messed up that prison would do that to people when it's meant to be the place that they get better, right?
I think the question is, can a person like that ever get better without basically medicating them to the point where they become zombies?
Yeah, I don't know the right answer to that. I think the guy was probably, intelligent enough that there's got to be something he could do with his life that's more positive than just being in a cell or eating people. But
like he could work at a factory to make those little rubber band things to make man buns. And then Mr. Dadbod could say, my man bun thingy came from a cannibal.
Yeah.
I still can't believe they were so triggered from that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the amount of that they insulted you in response to you just saying one thing about a man bun and like you should be apple pie face, right? Like this fucking guy, like how old is he? Like he's got all these life problems. Whoa, like.
And what's also amazed me is the Robert Price interview took place how many years ago? Or no, not years, but how many months ago? When was that? 5 months? 6
to 8 months, probably.
Yeah. and they're still talking about it. And there's
well, that was a big no-no doing something like that, because that goes against the the orthodox atheist position. So.
I still don't understand that.
I think it's because a lot of people who are atheists want to have these clearly defined, like in-group out-group boundaries, right? And you can't have atheism as like an identity or a community. I mean, I know you're an atheist, but I don't think atheism is a kind of identity for you that you adopt.
Right.
I don't think you'd consider yourself like the atheist community or something. Whereas a lot of people do. And it's hard to have something like that without those boundaries of, well, what do we believe? What do they say? Who are we against? Who's the enemy?
Yeah. And you were there when it actually happened, right? The Robert Price video?
The Robert Price stuff? Yeah, it was.
When you heard me use the word colored, did you immediately go...
It's one of those words where I can sort of understand why some people have a stigma around it, but I do find it weird that they do. Like it maybe it's because it's just an old-fashioned way of talking about it. So people are like, well, I want to make that word taboo because in old-fashioned times they actually were racist, so we shouldn't use that word as I don't really understand the reasoning, and I do find it a bit odd, that people get upset about it, but maybe I'm missing something.
But POC stands for
person of color, yeah, which is like, why does that make it better?
So you put an ED at the end and it's worse? Like if I say person of color?
Well, this is the meme of like, it's the current year, right? Is a lot of the justification for these things seems to be like, it's just what we do in the current year. So maybe. Okay, dinner's almost ready and we're going to watch a film. So. No, it's all right.
Which film are you going to watch?
The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that one like back in the 90s. Isn't that a really old one?
Right. Yeah. It's something like from around then, I think.
Emily Blunt, I think that was one of the first films she did that really made her noticed. And I think she's a fantastic actor. Right. She's one of my favorite.
It's got Meryl Streep in it, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Meryl Streep's like the older woman.
Merle. Whoever that woman is. Like, she's not that important. It's Emily Blunt's character. That's the one you want to watch. So anyhow, have fun.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Doug. Enjoy your stream. Bye.
Yeah, the room's open for theists, even atheists. Why not? It's colored is only problematic if you add the U. Yes, Wichita Home Office. It's the Canadians that are the racists. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from Canada. Maybe because I'm old. Like when I was born, the Dead Sea was only sick. POC is calling someone a person first, like you would say person with disabilities over disabled person. Yeah, I must admit, I've taken the U's out of things. Like I'm pretty fairly Americanized now. PineCreek's humor is too dry for Americans. Yeah, there's some truth to that. What if you start hitting yourself? Bullies might feel bad to join you. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Tag me if you have a question. If you're too scared to come on live. And Wichita Home Office, you can just give me the money directly, right? Like we're all in the same organization. But I guess you want to support YouTube. Give them their 35% cut. Is it 35? How much does YouTube take of my money? Nice attempt at spelling Mennonite. How long? Probably he was raised Mennonite farm boy. Yeah, I definitely was raised a Mennonite farm boy. This is why I don't get triggered like most of you people out there do. The cannibal you mentioned is out of prison in 3 years. Canada let the cannibal you mentioned out of prison 3 years ago. Really? Well, that feels sorry for him. Maybe they gave him a brain transplant. I don't know. If I was 300 pounds, 6'5", and I had to fight Nathan, what would be the best strategy? Just start running at him full force? The thing is, if you're in a room and Nathan gets behind me and starts choking me, why not just run backwards and crush his ribs against the wall? Nathan, if you're still here, like, how would you defend against that? And the thing is, at some point, someone is so strong that they can take your chokehold, grab your arms, and just rip your arm off, right? There is a point where there's that type of strength. Sit on him. No, but when a 300-pound man starts running, like the force, mass times acceleration, that force starts to get so big. Now, odds are the man won't be able to run too fast if he's 300 pounds, but still, you can't stop that if you're like 100 and, how heavy is 180? You know nothing about jiu-jitsu. Hey, I know Dexter did jiu-jitsu. Now, the point I'm making is, I'm going to offend some fighters here. The point I'm making is, I don't think that at a certain point, how well you know jiu-jitsu or karate or taekwondo or whatever, at some point it doesn't matter, right? We're all agreed about that. At some point, all your training and skill won't matter if the other guy's big enough. You can take an extreme example. Imagine the guy is 1,000 feet tall and 5 tons heavy. There's an extreme example. Everybody says, yeah, agreed, Doug. Your training won't matter. You're like a little flea on him. So at some point, where is that bigness? Where's that cutoff? Even size comes into play with guns. Like if you are 300 pounds of solid muscle and someone shoots a 22 at you, is it going to make a dent? I guess it depends where they hit you. Oh, Flamia, what do you want?
I can take Nathan. I think we can both agree on that.
Hey, Flamia, don't smile. Don't you dare smile. Don't break character. Look at you.
No, of course not.
You remind me, you know who you remind me of? Muhammad Ali.
I don't.
Muhammad Ali. You're not scared of anyone.
Not really. I'm too knowledge, too jaded. Of course, I'm not afraid.
Do you fly like a bird and sting like a bee?
Affirmative.
Okay, I got to ask you a racial question. Is that all right?
That's what I'm here for. Yes, I'm the black friend appointed by I guess we could call it hell for now. We can call it hell.
Is the word colored offensive to you?
Negative.
So if I said to the streaming world right now, Oflamio is my colored friend, you would not be offended?
Yeah, I would not be offended from that specifically.
Okay. What if a stranger, not me, but someone else said it? Someone you've never known, seen before?
I would not be offended from them.
Now, why wouldn't you be offended? Because you know a lot of other people are.
Because those are wrong magic words to use on me. Yeah, they use the right set of magic words. So the N word, that doesn't work on me. It doesn't because it doesn't matter.
Ah. So what you're telling me is that you're so secure in who you are that people can say the N word, the colored word, and it doesn't make a dent with you.
That's correct. You can use other words, but those words don't work on me.
So what words would work on you? Or you don't want to give away the kryptonite? You don't want to let people know your weakness?
No, I would give away the weakness because they don't know how to use it properly. So let's say the nonsense from DSM, like they say, I'll call myself an autist, but the people with autism, that doesn't make any sense because that's how do you, that's how I think. How do you separate it? It just doesn't make any sense.
Are you saying when people call you autistic, that offends you?
No,
Okay.
I'd like being called autistic. It's a good thing. But yeah, people with autism, because the people with thing, it's okay. It's just bad phrasing. So I'm kind of annoyed by the bad English.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think what would offend me. There's not too many things that at least a stranger could say to me. Like if someone who you really care about says something bad about you, to you, I can understand how that can hurt. But strangers, like those people before when I played them, I don't know when you got here.
I was at the Drunken Peasants. I know they changed hosts like 5 or 6 times by now. What show is that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But anyhow, we got to get to the point in society where being called names just doesn't make a dent. It just, especially the word racism, homophobe, transphobe, people throw these words around like it's candy nowadays.
Yeah, I you know what really annoys me? So when someone says, "Oh, I'm going to help you," then they just try to waste your time. That actually takes me off. Your names don't hurt me, but if you steal my time, then, I have this. Oh, I forgot. That takes me off. Just don't contact me then.
Yeah, I love your shirt.
I do too.
That's a great color. Did you know purple is one of the rarest colors in nature?
Yes, that's why it is so was valued by the royalty because it's so hard to get purple stuff.
Yeah. You look royal right now.
Yes.
I like you, Flamio. Thanks for coming on and doing your Muhammad Ali impersonation for us.
Okay.
Take care.
See you later.
See ya. Do you believe one should love their neighbor? Depends, Dave Robertson. What if my neighbor wants to eat me? Like Hannibal Lecter. Getting offended at these words gives them more power. I learned this as a child. Yes, exactly right, Brian. Like if someone calls you a racist or a homophobe or whatever, and you let them know that doesn't bother you. This is why Trump's hated so much. Because he's been called every name in the book, and he almost likes it. They realize, and that just foments their hatred even more. There was some comedian who made that observation correctly, in my opinion. Who was it? Oh, it was that woman who did the thing with his head, decapitated head. What's her name? Anyhow, she said, I think it was her. She said that if you really want to bother Trump, you don't call him a racist, or a homophobe or any other bad name. You just say that he bankrupted some of his companies. Or you say he's a bad businessman. That's how you really get him. I think she's right. Kathy Griffith. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was her. I think it was. Is there any Christians who want to come on? Any Muslims? I prefer Christians. Muslims are more boring. Muslims, you're boring. I like Jews. Any Jews want to come on? Dave Robinson, I think you're maybe a couple minutes behind. Make sure you have pressed the live button. Or maybe it's just your brain. I don't know. Let me, while we're waiting for Theus to hop in, let me find Mike Licona's.
Exclusivity claims of Christ.
Yeah, here it is. Like, this seriously makes me weep for humanity, some of this stuff in here. Let me bring up the transcript. How do you spell Ouija? Board. There we go.
Couple were down in her basement playing on a Ouija board on Halloween during her junior year of high school, and the Ouija board said that her boyfriend would be decapitated that day, and all of them are laughing, but she's not laughing. She says, "No, this isn't funny. Look, my mom's a witch. My grandmother was a witch. I've dabbled in the witchcraft."
Okay, so here's a story about kids in high school playing with a Ouija board. A girl has a boyfriend, a serious boyfriend. The Ouija board says that he's going to die today and be decapitated. The girl, rightly so, says, "This is not funny. This is my boyfriend, my fiance, maybe, or whatever." And her mother was a witch. Her father was a witch, Wiccan. I don't know. No, men can't be witches, right? They're wizards. You know, all these ideas and thoughts are implanted in their heads beforehand. This is the same as you Christians, generic Christians who believe in the spiritual realm. If you talk to people who've left Christianity, like me, for example, we don't have this. At least I don't. I'll speak for myself. I don't have any fear of the spiritual realm at all. I'm not lying to you. You look into my eyes, look into my blue eyes, green eyes, whatever. I'm not lying to you. There's no fear in me from demons, Satan, spooky stuff, ghosts, none of that. The fear is only from people who truly believe it's real and that it can hurt you.
Stuff isn't anything to laugh at, and they just kept laughing, and so she just insisted they pack up the Ouija board, put it away, and then they went to dinner. They were going to McDonald's, and so she insisted that she drive and they take an alternate route there, and so they did, and nothing happened that day. And
nothing happened that day, so the demon was wrong.
But the next year, on Halloween, her and her boyfriend planned to meet for dinner, and he didn't show up. And so she goes to where he was working. He was working on a crew where they were putting branches into a wood chipper, taking down trees and putting it in a wood chipper. And she found that day, a branch caught his arm and pulled him into the wood chipper up to his neck, and it decapitated him.
Oh, Mike. Poor Mike. Just listen to yourself. Listen to the story you just told and ask yourself, is there any plot holes in this story? If her serious boyfriend would have been killed that day, remember that he didn't show up to a Halloween dinner. That means it's at least after working hours, after the sun goes down, maybe 6 o'clock, 7. And what time does he end work? Do you think he got decapitated right at 5 o'clock? Maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Don't you think she would have had a phone call before then and she wouldn't have been stood up? Don't you think anybody there would have known to call the family of the person killed, and then the family would have realized, oh, maybe we should call the girlfriend, the serious girlfriend? You really think we're to believe that she's sitting at a restaurant, he doesn't show up, she gets in a car and immediately drives to where he works and then finds out? Think, Mike. Please, use your head. I know you're a music major, but you can do better. Ooh. Actually, some of the smartest people I know have been both music majors and physics majors, or a double major, whatever. Some of the most brilliant people I've known growing up in university settings have been people who have been very musical and very theoretical physical. Yes, Nick H., I got it. Thank you so much for the donation, and I'll check you out. Maybe if I do go on TikTok, you probably don't want to recommend me because what you do is so different than what I do. But maybe I can talk about animals for the first few minutes.
Wow. So that was weird. And then a few years later, she got together with some other friends because now she really missed him and she wanted to communicate with him in the afterlife, in the spirit world. And so they got the Ouija board out again. And as they're trying to communicate, this time they're in the kitchen, and they had a metal trash can in there.
Yeah, again, if you came late. Next time, if there's any Christians or witches here, or hear this on the replay, I dare you to play with a Ouija board blindfolded and see, and have a third party watch and see what results you get. In fact, even spin the board so you don't know where any letters are. Oh, you guys will make a fool of yourself so quickly. Now, if you can spell PineCreek on a Ouija board after it's been mixed up, blindfolded amongst 4 people, I tell you, you'll get my attention. PineCreek. Blindfolded, spin the board so you don't know where it stops. So that's a 1 in 26 chance times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to the 9th power. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You spell PineCreek on a Ouija board blindfolded, you got my attention. I might have to rethink my whole worldview.
There, a small metal trash can with a metal lid, and she said as they're trying to communicate with him, the lid on that trash can just kind of lifted up and hovered in the air, and then it like threw itself on the wall, and rather than bouncing off the wall, it like went flat on the wall, and then she said it was like a hand was guiding.
Remember, this is in high school. These are high school girls in a house, and I think Mike's friends with this person. We're talking in the 80s, 90s. Story time from 30 years ago. I double dog dare that the people in that room that night that this is supposedly had happened come on my show. Let me question you. Let me interrogate you. One at a time. Just like J. Warner Wallace would do. Let's see how much of the story mimics Mike's and each other's.
It down to the floor.
Actually, you're right, Brian. It's not 20. It's not even 26 to the 9th power, because if you're truly blindfolded, you don't even know where the letters are. So it's based on how big that round thing is on the board, the surface area, the area of the circle, divided by the area of the whole board. And then take that times 9 times, or to the 9th power. I'm talking, it's going to be 1 in a trillion, something like that. In fact, I would even dare people who think that Ouija boards have any power or any validity at all to get 4 people, blindfold them, and then spin the board so they don't know where it is, and just find the letter P for PineCreek. Just 1 letter. You think the devil actually cares if you can see or not? You think, well, this is a spiritual realm. It's not about flesh and bone. It's about the spiritual warfare. Christians, this ought to cause you to doubt this whole idea of Ouija boards being a thing. Yeah, you're right, Ray Cosby. You got to be careful with blindfolds because some of them are not really. Let's get 4 blind people. At least 3 blind people. I wish my uncle was still alive. He was completely blind. The retinas fell off the back of his eyes, both of them. Like, no question that he was blind. Oh, SamplePack wants to talk politics. Sure of it.
Oh man, you called me out so good.
That's the only thing you care about, right? That and eating babies.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, I guess, so one question I had for you is kind of the relation between like politics and religion and like what your opinion is on it, because I think there's obviously a trend in between, the right wing and Christianity.
Yeah, I'm against politics and religion melding.
Mm-hmm. But I guess like what do you think it is that drives the two together? Do you think that it's just like something about, the conservatism traditionalist sort of opinion, or?
Well, I'm not sure what conservatism has anything to do with it, because there's a lot of people who are religious who are not conservative. But I agree, it's fewer. But it's just the way people are raised. So the way people see the world around them, it's hard to separate that sometimes. Like politicians who are against abortion, it's really hard for them to separate their religious beliefs about abortion and their political beliefs.
Do you think that I'm of the opinion that there's some danger that surrounds the two? Like,
I agree. I do too.
By so influencing each other?
Yep, I agree. I do too. Like I fear theocracies. I fear dictatorships.
Oh. Have you seen any of this kind of free speech absolutism and kind of people being banned off different platforms? I know you've talked about it in the past.
Well, I know some people are banned off platforms, yeah, but
there's been a whole big trend of this in this red pill circles. I'm not sure if you're aware of this.
No, what's red pill circles?
So red pill is like this.
I know there used to be a YouTube channel called Red Pill Religion or something. I remember that.
Yeah, so the name stems from the Matrix. I don't know if you remember the Matrix. Morpheus is giving 2 pills to Neo, and he has a red pill and a blue pill in his hand. And the idea is that the blue pill will send you back to the Matrix, and the red pill will keep you, will bring you to reality, basically. So that's where it comes from. But the name has barely anything to do with it now, and it's more like this kind of misogynistic, manly man sort of philosophy where they're kind of, trying to, to pick yourself up by your bootstraps, Jordan Peterson style, and then all this other kind of, there's kind of like a nexus of philosophy where it's hard to pin down exactly what it means. I wasn't sure if you're exposed to this at all.
Not really.
Okay. Because there's been a couple of big bannings that happened recently, and it's been all over certain news circles.
Like who's banning who? So. The red pill people are banning who?
Yeah. So, well, have you heard of this guy named Andrew Tate?
Oh yeah. Didn't he sleep with Jordan Peterson's daughter?
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
That's the only thing I know about. But, and then I saw an infomercial on him. Doesn't he like to he's an infomercial type guy? Like, buy my product, I'll teach you how to think and be wealthy.
Yeah, kind of. So he ran this thing called the Hustler University, where he was like trying to teach people how to basically like start a cam girl website or something like that, and all this other sort of thing. But he like left the country to go to like Romania or something like that because he was accused of some kind of charges or whatever.
Can you scooch a little bit to your right? There you go.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you don't have to be centered. Actually, go a little bit more, because in photography you want
right?
thirds, right? Yeah. You've instantly become more attractive to me.
We can get really close. I have to look this way.
Well, let's talk about something interesting.
Yeah. Well, so I was curious about it because I know that you I was kind of leading into it but it's hard to. Because you haven't listened to what he's said, so it's hard to kind of ask you questions. But I guess
say the part that you're really against, and then see if I agree.
Well, I was gonna try to ask the question: is how far can you go with speech before do you think that someone deserves to be banned on let's say YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, whatever it is? And then also, do you think that these platforms are public squares, or do you think that they're kind of a private entity that can regulate themselves?
Well, they're definitely private entities that legally have the right to regulate themselves. So in that sense, they can ban whoever they want for whatever reason. But they have to suffer the consequences from society if they do so.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're portraying themselves as people who want to get the truth out there, and that they won't ban truth or real facts and data and information, and then they end up doing so, then they can either apologize, say, oops, we made a mistake, or shove it on the rug. How they deal with it tells a lot. And then whether they lose subscribers or gain subscribers, that's the way the free market works.
Yeah, I think I'm very much of the same opinion. But I know that there's been a lot of people saying that, well, they're so big at this point that they should be considered a public square. And I'm not really of that opinion at all.
No, I don't think I lean that way either.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do what they want.
Yeah, my opinion, I wasn't sure if you were going to go either direction. I was totally 50-50 on which way you're going to lean. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, well, I'm a free market guy. I lean that way. So if someone wants... I think I have the right to kick you off right now if I wanted to. I have the right to ban D. Barry, B.S. Lewis, Mike Chang in the live stream chat for absolutely no reason. I don't like the letters in their name. I could do that. No, but the thing is, if someone sees me do that and they say that's not fair, and I'm never watching Doug again, I pay the consequences.
Right.
So
yeah,
I've banned a lot of people on my channel.
Yeah. But I guess it's different. I mean, I think the people I'm thinking of would argue that it's different depending on if you're banned off of every platform or something like that, then it's not the same.
I thought about you the other day because... Well,
we did. That's so sweet.
Because I was watching something on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, let's see if I can find it. Because one of the things, when you ask me what's my thoughts about religion and politics, and I like separation like you do, and my guess is one of your biggest fears, legitimate fears maybe, of, let's say, the far right is that they're trying to mix the two, right?
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. The ideology or the principles kind of go out the window when your justification becomes religion, I guess. That makes sense.
And that when I'm trying to find it here. Oh yeah, they will some of those ideas will cause them to think differently or be more passionate about people like Trump. Because if someone truly believes Trump is a representative sent by God,
right,
then they're gonna, if they truly believe that and he's not reelected, they're going to view that as that has to be cheating involved. This is the devil. This is, you know, this is the spiritual forces coming into play. And
have you seen all the Dark Brandon memes?
Yeah, and well, and you just hear people talk, right? There's so many YouTube videos of people making these prophecies of that Trump is going to be reelected, never happened, or reinstalled. And then they're now, I'm sure some of them are saying at least that he will be reelected in the next federal election.
Right.
But there was a whole bunch of quotes that I found of people saying just that, and you and I would be agreed that they're wrong, like when they say that Biden's presidency is illegitimate.
Right.
And I was going to take the time and write all these quotes out for you and read them to you, but I didn't have time. And then my guess is you and I would look at each other and say, this is bad, we agree, this is terrible. But then I was going to trap you.
Okay.
And I wish I had the time to do this, because now that you're here, this would have been the perfect trap. Because then I would say, you know what? All those quotes I just read to you were spoken by Democrats.
Right.
And you would say, would you be shocked?
I guess it depends on what they were exactly.
Because there are people who have made compilations like that. And if, you know, those videos where people go to people on the street and they read holy texts, and
and then they find out it's like they reveal the cover and it's like Islam or something.
Yeah, or no, it's the other way around. They read Islam and they pull the cover and they find, oh, it's actually the Bible, and they're Christian.
Right.
And they go, so you say, well, this is what it says in the Quran, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, this is disgusting. Well, by the way, this is in the Old Testament.
Right.
And I was going to do that. And I was going to do that with you.
Yeah, they do the same thing with the like Obama quotes, and then they're like, actually, all those were Trump, or vice versa. Yeah, it's always enjoyable.
And I was why can't I see it here? Oh yeah, here we go. Like, I don't know, maybe you're too young, but I'm old enough to remember the 2000 election with Al Gore and George W. Bush.
Yeah, I was pretty young at the time, but I remember a little bit of it.
Some of the things that you're hearing the pro-Trump people say, I heard 20 years ago with Democrats. Illegitimate. This is corruption. Blah, blah, blah.
So do you have, I mean, I guess, do you have opinions that that the recent Supreme Court, the Roe decision was influenced by their religion, or do you think that that was principled?
I don't think you can separate the two.
Somewhere between.
I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely religion plays a part. Like, why else would someone say that an embryo, it's wrong to kill an embryo if it's not religious? Like, I can't, maybe I'm just too naive, but you and I are agreed on this. Like, it's sure it has maybe a value greater than zero, but it's nothing. I mean, compared to.
Yeah, and I think you did the great example with the toddler and the 1,000 embryos, right? With in the fire, and that was, I mean, that's the killer argument.
So even though, even though they don't talk this way because they realize they can't mention God on the abortion debate, I can't think of any other reason to say that an embryo has value other than my God said so, because it's created.
Did you see the pregnant woman riding in the HOV lane in Texas?
Oh no, I didn't.
She gets pulled over by a cop, and she's like, "No one else." The cop's like, "Nobody else is in the car." She's like, "I'm pregnant." Are you like? You can't ticket me.
Well, and if he was a Republican cop, which I think most cops are,
right.
Is that true? Are cops Republican or Democrat in the United States?
I think they lean right, especially in Texas.
Oh yeah, in Texas, definitely. The cop has to laugh and let her go, right? Is that what happened?
I don't remember the consequences. I just remember reading the headline of the article. I just thought that was hysterical.
Zachary says there are many, many non-religious pro-lifers, Doug. Well, I'm against abortion, Zachary. But I'm talking about assigning value to an embryo. Like, how can you say that that's atrocious if not for religion? Like, I can't imagine on a humanist level saying it is atrocious. I can imagine scenarios. So imagine there's only 10 people living on planet Earth because of a huge drought or famine or disease. But we still have these frozen embryos, and there's a desire, a goal to repopulate the Earth, and someone drops it down the sink. Then I can say, yeah, this is horrible because we need that embryo to repopulate the Earth. So in that situation,
How do you feel about the self-defense argument? Because I think that one's pretty strong, also.
Yeah, I do too. But then we're getting into into weeks into pregnancy, right?
Maybe clarify a little bit what you mean.
That in order for the self-defense argument to be made, there has to be a dependency relationship between the fetus and the mother.
I'm saying the mother to abort, she can be aborting in self-defense, right? Protecting herself from the damage that will come.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm taking the extreme example of the embryos are not even in the mother, and just pointing out that there is a value mismatch that people are giving. But
no, I was bringing up something completely separate.
But I do believe, at a certain point, that the rights of the baby, I'll even call it a baby to make the Christians happy, because let's assume it's at 15 weeks or something, does start to creep up to the rights of the mother. In other words, there might come a point where the rights of the mother are superseded by the rights of the baby.
Yeah, I think we had this discussion, but I don't agree.
Yeah, and I'm not, adamant on that. To me, the whole abortion thing is one of, the real issue is one of punishments, consequences. So we can talk and say, oh, I think this is wrong. Well, I think this is not wrong or right or whatever. All that, who cares? The real question is, what are the consequences of it? What's the results of it? What's the punishments of it? Are you going to punish a mother who gets an abortion or not? These are the real issues. Yeah. Now, I say, no, you don't punish the mother. Even if I'm against abortion at, let's say, 16 weeks. No, but then the question I have to ask myself is, what if, and I know this is very, very, very rare, if not purely a hypothetical, but what if 1 hour before delivery, the mother says, I want an abortion, and a doctor does it? Then I have to ask myself, am I still against punishment?
Right.
And I don't know how to answer that at this point. How would you answer it?
The 1 hour is really hard to me. Like 1 day, the difference between 1 day and 1 hour to me, for some reason, is like leagues apart. Because 1 hour, it's like you're right there, but some reason the 1 day, it's like, well.
But you surprised me because you said, I think I asked you, what if the baby's born and then 1 year after the mother wants to kill the baby? And you kind of leaned, that's all right.
So principally, I think it is all right, but I think that pragmatically, it's not all right, right? So that's where the pragmatic stuff in. I think, well, we have a society where we can adopt, right, or something like that. But say the mother, she's on an island, right, and there's no society, then I think at that point she doesn't have to take care of. Like she has no obligation, no intrinsic moral value or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and to me, my moral intuition say that's incredibly icky.
Yeah.
I would vote for a politician who would put that mother in jail, I think.
Right, well, that's why I'm saying on the island, right, where there's no society, but we have the society, we can do the other thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But then would I vote for a politician who would put the mother in jail who had an abortion at 8 months?
Yeah, I think it becomes a lot harder.
A lot harder.
Yeah. I think it is a great wedge issue, though. It really makes people, stand their ground or pick a side or something.
The thing
like
is,
that,
what's so frustrating to me is this is so preventable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to have orgasm through intercourse.
I didn't think you were going to go this way.
No, but seriously, you can't get pregnant if you don't have, well,
Wait, what?
You can't get pregnant if you don't have a penis going into the vagina and ejaculating, unless you're doing in vitro fertilization or the certain fertility things, like using a baster, turkey baster or whatever. But you can reach climax many ways. And in fact, I've heard that most women don't even get orgasms with a penis in them. Is that true?
But that just happens to be coincidence. That's because their husbands are terrible.
Oh, yeah. Would you like to educate the men here for us? How to do it right?
With men, practice, get better. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah. Anyhow, Kip wants in here.
Yeah, you go on other people.
Well, I'm glad that there's no disagreements between us.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Take care.
Bye.
Hey, Kip.
Oh, hold on.
I love your atheist look. You got the goatee. You got the, what is that called?
It's an
bandana?
atheist look.
Bandana?
This is my bandana, yeah. Because my hair gets really long and I got to keep it out of my eyes.
Christian apologists like Eric Hernandez, they look at you and they fear you. They see the devil when they look at you.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I used to dress like this when I was a Christian too, eh?
Yeah, but were you a real Christian? Come on, let's be honest.
I think so. I mean, by whose definition?
God's, of
course.
Are
we talking about your God's definition? Well, absolutely then.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So, I don't know.
Let me guess. So you came on to talk about Mike Licona?
Who's to say? Yeah, actually, I did. So, I wanted to talk about the Ouija board thing, and then I wanted to share a story. If you're all right with the story.
Yeah, why don't you start with the story? We all like stories.
Okay. So, you've had spiritual experiences before, right?
No, not one. That was just my internal.
Did you ever have?
I know what you mean. I'm causing you trouble here.
You know what I mean, right? So yeah. You had experiences that you internalized and called spiritual, and ones that, after the fact, you understand where they came from and how they happened. I think all of us who come out of the faith go through this, but there's one for me that sticks with me years later, and it was a group thing. Oh shoot, that sounds bad, doesn't it? Let's say it's a group thing.
Were the clothes on or off?
Keep your minds out of the gutters, people. Yeah. So it was powerful because it wasn't just me. Let's put it that way. So I was in my early 20s. I was in graduate school. I was running. I was a director for like a Christian Bible camp at the time, and a group of buddies and I were backpacking out in the Canadian Rockies, and we hiked up to this lake. It's a small lake at the top of sort of a waterfall, and there's like one way in and out. You have to go because it's surrounded by mountains, and there's just the notch where the water comes out and spills out, into a waterfall. So you have to go up that waterfall to get in and out. When we went up there, we found a group of other guys who were camped up there and fishing at the lake, and we tootled around for a little bit, and then we stopped at the camp, like the place where they were camping, and we were chatting with them, and then somebody said, "Look over there," and a bunch of us turned and looked, and there was like a grizzly bear, kind of off. He was far enough Oh wait, so he was coming up the trail. That's what it was. He was coming up the trail, the only way in and out into this valley. And as soon as we saw him, all of us just turned tail and booked it up one of these scree slopes with big boulders on it and such. And we kind of hung out there and watched him go into the camp and rip around with all their gear, and then he sort of settled in like this bramble nearby. So we decided as a group, about 9 or 10 of us at this point, because it was the two groups together, we decided, well, we better get the hell out of here. So we carefully, he was far enough away from like the entrance to the valley that we went out. We were able to go out the way we came in, and then we were just completely jacked, right? Like just after this experience, everything's going. So on the way back, as we were talking about what happened, there was no one who could identify. Everybody heard the voice. Nobody identified themselves as the speaker, as the one who, drew all our attention to the bear. At the time, I and my Christian friends that I was with, we all automatically interpreted this as like the voice of God or something like that, right? We all heard it. Nobody could identify where it came from. It all prompted us to action. And even years after I deconverted, and even, recognizing that this is something that happened, I don't know if I would say within all of our heads, but it's certainly something that was dramatically affected by the way that we process information and memories, right? Even within a moment of an event. But it's the kind of thing where to any believer, the response is always the same. That's God. That's proof that God was speaking to you. It's proof because everybody experienced it. Everybody heard the voice, and everybody recognizes that it was like this nebulous, what you would call in Hebrew the bat kol, which is the voice from heaven. So, but I tell that story like just as a way to illustrate, I guess, that even though I'm on the other side of this, there are things that I can't explain, but I know that there's a naturalistic explanation for, but which would be extremely powerful to any believer.
So what's your naturalistic explanation now? You don't have one?
I don't have one. I mean, I think, and maybe you can help me brainstorm with this too. I think
it's easy.
I think one of us saw the bear
and said it.
What, you think someone was just, one of us saw the bear.
Yeah.
And said something.
And
then our, because of the imperfection of our memories and because of the experience of trauma, if you would even call, like you could tack that up as an experience of, maybe trauma is not the right word, but it's the same sort of thing, right? Where you're in a heightened moment. You're in a moment of heightened arousal, excitement that causes your brain to do funny things.
Well, you can even put practical jokester on the table. So
yeah, you could. Yes. Totally could. But it's in the moment. I can understand, like in the moment, I would reject that entirely just because it didn't feel right. You know what I mean? But this is the whole thing is, Peter, the Apostle Peter, practical jokester that he was, everyone took him seriously. Right?
Well,
not saying that's my theory or what have you, but yeah, these sorts of stories about garbage cans, the lids flying off and hitting the wall, are powerful in the moment, especially to those who believe, right? But it's and they can affect people long after they even know better.
What's interesting is
what's
interesting to me is that a lot of these stories are from years and years ago, right?
Yeah, right.
Like Mike Licona, if you ever listen to this, tell me a story that happened last month. I mean, it doesn't happen. It's why? Because you're matured now. You're not a teenager anymore. You're not even in the early 20s. You're
in your early 20s.
This is why I often say on my channel that these spiritual experiences happen between the ages of 18 and 22, when you're the most sleep deprived, have the most hormones raging, most stress. Once you mature and you're stable, these things don't happen.
Yeah, I wonder about that. If I would experience that whole situation differently now in my 40s. We'll just go there.
Yeah, like imagine.
I don't know.
Imagine a group of Mike Licona's friends at the age of how old is he? 55 or whatever.
He's probably something like that. I would
imagine a bunch of 55-year-olds sitting in a house during Halloween. You think they're going to report a lid flying against the wall?
Gary Habermas, Craig Evans, and Mike Licona in a room together. I don't know. So there's that. Have you ever played with a Ouija board before?
No, but I should buy one just to scare people here on my channel.
That's another. So I was a kid when a friend of mine.
Oh, by the way, we're getting some. You are roboting a little bit, or a little bit delay, and your mic is a little too hot. So bring down your gain a bit.
Oh yeah, okay.
I've done as much as I could on my end to bring you down, but.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I haven't used it in a while, and I've moved. I haven't moved, but I had to shift. I had to shift my my setup around here a little bit because I have to share my office now with my wife.
Oh no.
So yeah. But what are you gonna do, right? So but I was gonna. So when I was a kid, I think 9 or 10, I had a friend up the street, and it was I think it was summer holidays. We're running around, as kids do, or used to do at least in summer holidays. And I was at his house, and he told me that this was weird. I don't know if this was a thing or if this is me misremembering, but as I remember this, his parents were like looking after another couple's pair of Ouija boards because apparently the spirits need regular stimulation or something. So, when they were on holidays, they were like, oh, will you look after these and, wake up the spirits from time to time to make sure that they get their exercise. It's like dog sitting, but for Ouija boards. That's how I remember it. I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat can tell me if this is a thing or not. But that's how I remember it.
You like my test?
So,
you like my test for Ouija boards, though, right?
You ever heard it? So repeat it. It's blindfolded, right?
Or just get blind people to a Ouija board and see if anything works.
Yeah. Totally. I think it's a great test. But and it's amazing. I guess I'll cut to the chase on this one. As a kid, it was a traumatic experience using a Ouija board only because of, you know, the guilt that I had internalized through my Christian upbringing. But it's one of these things where in the moment, especially as a child, you're easily duped and you're fooled into expecting things to happen a certain way, right? So, but it left a huge impression on me for years and years after that. I remembered asking the Ouija board about, you know, when I would die. I think I was 10, maybe 9 or 10 years old. And the response was 2054, which would make me pretty old, I think. No, not that old. That's 81. It's a very reasonable response. But it's one of those things where I still remember that out of, you know, the millions of things that happened to me as a kid. That's one of those things that I still remember, completely understand that is bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the fact that I remember it is sort of a testament to how powerful these things can be.
Yeah.
And I'd be lying to you if 2052, 53 comes around and say I'm still alive. I'm, you know, you're damn right I'm still going to be thinking about that and going, you know, not that I believe any of it as true, but I think because even for those of us who recognize the I guess the naturalistic or the stuff that goes on in our own minds to convince ourselves of nonsense, for those of us even who recognize that, it's very, very hard to put them to check all that stuff all the time. I think it's probably why I still I still find myself subconsciously or in the moment uttering prayers or talking to God, a God that I don't believe exists. Sure. It just, I catch myself doing it sometimes.
Really? Not me.
And it's just, I mean, it's, yeah, no way.
No, not at all.
So, and I don't know.
Even when I think I'm dying, not a drop of it comes out of me. Like I was in a car accident.
You've had moments where you thought, really,
someone ran a red and banged right into me a couple years back.
Ouch.
Not even a thought of God entered my head.
Wow. Yeah, no, I still deal with that. So, I don't know if for me, I don't think it's so much it's almost like I think for me, it's almost like a Pavlovian response.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it was so ingrained into my thinking for such a long time that it's just that, you know, it's that first reaction, right? So, but, or then again, you know, yeah. So.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Ouija boards.
But you know, my kids and probably your kids, if they were in a high school party or whatever and someone brought a Ouija board, there would be like, I'd say the majority of the kids would think there's something to it. My kids, I think, would sincerely laugh at it. Like, this is a joke. Like, what do you guys do?
Oh, I think mine would too. Yeah, I think so. But,
and it's so freeing too. Like, they can watch horror movies and enjoy them, whereas some Christians, they just like, some of them can be traumatized.
It's stressful.
Yeah, it's stressful for them.
It's stressful, right? Well, I don't know if I told you this before, but I think I've said this online in some other places. But what really pulled me, I think maybe what made the biggest impression on me in my own deconversion from Christianity was not all the Bible stuff. I mean, I was actually I was probably a progressive Christian for much longer than I was a fundamentalist. It wasn't the Bible stuff. What really, really did it for me was my kids. Like we adopted, and one of my sons has severe anxiety issues, so much so that for a long time we couldn't go to church just because he was so terrified of hell. And like he wouldn't even step inside the building. He was that scared. And he was just that scared of, you know, thinking about death or thinking about hell and stuff like that. So it's powerful stuff.
Does he still have that problem?
But no, he's I mean, he still has anxiety, but not about that. But it took him a long time to kind of get out.
I know what changed his mind. He probably saw one of my live streams where I said I'd give $1 million, put it in escrow to any if hell's real, and he said, "Oh,
I'm sure that's it." Yeah.
Anyhow, I should let you go and open the door for theists who want to call in.
Yeah, totally.
Take care.
Have a good day.
Hey.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Eh? Room's open for theists. Don't be shy. Or it's also open for atheists with man buns. Room's open for theists or man bun atheists. Or woman bun atheists. Or you can just tag me with questions and try to trap me. Is it theists or friends only RN? Yeah, I just said who can come on. Only people with man buns go to hell. That's true. It's common for people to use psychology to explain the spirit world experiences. Well, what's more common? The natural or the supernatural? Here's a question for atheists listening. If someone calls you a racist, are you offended? Actually, that would be a great poll question. I'm going to create a poll. If someone calls you a racist, are you offended? Choices are yes or doesn't make a dent. I think for your next stream, I should have my hair in. I can't do it, ma'am. I don't have hair back there. Yeah, that's the thing is, aren't all white people racists? So to call a person like me a racist, you're not really saying much. I love triggering some atheists by saying, but I'm a good racist. Arabian Princess asks, what is your profession, PineCreek? I'm a dancer. I got the stacks of ones to prove it. I'm in the financial world. Why don't you come on, Arabian Princess? You know you like me. You like to come on, say a few things, ask a few questions, and as soon as I ask you to come on, you flee. It's almost like I'm holding up garlic and you're a vampire. You just poof, you vanish. No, I was never a ballet dancer. I'm actually retired now. But if you go to in certain shady places in certain cities. I won't mention any names of bars where I used to work, but Sarah's Pub was a hit there. Sarah loved me. Well, Craig Bradford, what I could do with Arabian Princess is I could say I won't ask you anything unless she, says, okay, now it's fine. You can come on and just ask me questions. I didn't need a poll, Bulldog. No poll required. I've never been called racist. I'd probably laugh. If hell was real, would you really still not worship the God of the Bible? I think I would have to. Well, yeah, I would try to fake it. Cyanation. If hell was real. But still, let's say it's true that the Old Testament stuff is true, that this God actually commanded that. I would have to try to fake my allegiance. But if this God's omniscient, you're just doomed no matter what. Have a sing-off with Arabian Prince. Yeah, I'll do that. I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Can you hear my wife doing the cooking and cleaning in the kitchen? You probably can, right? She's a good wife doing the cooking and cleaning. PineCreek, have you experienced racism? Me? I'm white. You can't be racist against white people. You know that. That's just science. But if you're asking my wife and I, very, very little. That's because we're not looking for it, probably. Nothing more than just looks, dirty looks. I remember when we went to a hog roast in Kentucky, when we were newly married, went into a diner. Got some looks. Oh yeah, let's see what the poll results say. Oh, look at this. See? This shows just how secure and stable my live stream is, and just how racist they are. My live stream, and just how racist you guys are. Doesn't make a dent. You're not offended when someone calls you a racist. 72% of you? That just shows how racist you are. I tell you, calling people a racist nowadays is almost becoming a joke. Like when my son tells me about high school, and just it's words thrown around as a joke now. The link's pinned at the top. If a random person said you were a bad father, would you care? Probably not. Unless I'm having a really bad day. But if it's someone that I have a relationship, even a little bit, then maybe. Like the other day, someone said I hate my wife and kids, or don't love them. I was actually just more surprised than anything that he came to my house and said it. My house being my YouTube channel. If you get bored, watch Bible Man, Christian version of Power Rangers. Have I incited any racism? What does that mean? Have I told anybody to go kill people? No. Because they're black or brown or whatever? No. Would you do immoral acts not to go to hell if God ordered you to, if real? Oh, that's a good question. A moral dilemma. So would I, let's say, rape someone if I knew God would then say, okay, you no longer have to go to hell? Probably not. It's that trolley car problem, right? Could you actually pull the lever? No, it's not like the trolley car problem. Apparently, hell's locked from the inside. It's where you want to be, so it's not that bad. Yeah, whenever I invite her on, Jeff Goldblum. Love your acting, by the way. She leaves. No, she's still here. She's lurking. She's smiling right now. Arabian Princess, you're smiling right now, right? You're smiling. Wipe that smile off your face. Stop it. You should invite Ray Comfort to your show. I bet you $100 he would accept your invitation. Really? Maybe I should. Then I got to schedule things. I would have fun with Ray Comfort. I think it would be a really good talk. Has he done other shows like mine? Like he's so big and making so much money from The Young and Gullible that I don't think he would waste his time with me, would he? He said he would do an interview with you. Interesting. Thing is, Ray Comfort's IQ must be like 94. Like he's not a very bright man. Hey, Ash.
Hey, I am an atheist, but I have a man bun. As you can see.
Very nice. Yeah.
I gotta do it. I just had a couple of questions. When you were talking to SamplePack, I guess it reminded me. So you were saying like social media companies are like these private companies, and they can kind of do whatever they want.
Not whatever they want. Like they can. It's okay. You know, all Americans, please kill Jews today. Like it's like, you know, there's limits on everything.
But if they like let's say Facebook or Twitter like just wanted to like, I don't know, support a political party for a U.S. election, and they did it very explicitly with whatever algorithm they used to show content.
They have my blessing.
Like, really interesting. And what about like, so you don't think that they should be like required to filter like misinformation and stuff either, I assume?
No, they can do that too.
Interesting. Okay. I feel like that's
dangerous.
I don't know, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. We live in a dangerous world.
That gives a lot of power. Yeah, I think once a company gets like to a like certain size with a certain
Facebook's
level of
going
influence.
down. Like only old people use Facebook.
Yeah. So let's just say Google, right? Like they could just filter the search results, right?
Yeah.
And that'll keep deep.
Yeah, that's a better example. Google's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean Twitter's also like relatively small, so maybe that's a bad example too.
Yeah.
But there are companies.
Yeah, Google,
that you
like
could
the Google
imagine.
search engine is probably the most powerful influencer in the world.
Yeah, I think Microsoft or Amazon could do similar things in different ways, but
yeah,
they're pretty, or Apple.
Like didn't
all four of those.
Getting back to Facebook, didn't what's his name, Zuckerberg, admit that the government contacted his team and said, "Hey, flag this, flag that, watch out for this, watch out for that."
Well, I'm a summer intern at Meta, which is their rebrand.
Oh,
so I won't comment.
Can you tell me which FBI agents contacted you?
Unfortunately, I cannot. Ask me in a week. I'll be done by then.
Okay. But you saw that interview, right, on Joe Rogan?
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. I saw that he did one, but I didn't take the time.
Yeah, if memory serves, it's basically in that interview, Zuckerberg admitted that the government of the United States talks to Facebook about certain information or disinformation.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. I mean, the government's really big on having backdoors and stuff, and they really want, like, they're really upset with like Apple for like doing end-to-end encryption. Facebook too, which like have messages be completely private, where even Apple and Facebook couldn't access them. they're just totally secure, and the government has issues with that.
What's your take on someone says something on social media, and then the company takes it down because they view it as disinformation? What's your take on that? Should be allowed or not?
So just no further qualifiers. Just that's all I know about the situation. I think the company should be able to do it.
No, I'm not asking the should question. I'm asking, like, if it were you, would you keep it up or take it down?
Depends on the type of disinformation, I guess. Right.
So the more serious
like if
it is.
Yeah. So like I'm not really an expert on this field, but currently I'm like a grad student, and I took like a class about like disinformation, censorship, and stuff on social media. And that kind of makes me a lot more hesitant to, I guess, claim either way, because I think I can say that I know that like disinformation is a problem on social media, that a lot of people will encounter like things that look like news articles that aren't actually reputable and stuff. And that there's so much of this that the individual doesn't have the time or ability to actually process stuff and make judgments for themselves. And I think that because of that, and because of how the algorithms work on these social media websites, at least something needs to be done. Because I don't think the companies have any profit incentive to have something be done about it. It's kind of like the environment. Like I know what we don't need to get into it, but like I think making incentives for companies to protect the environment is a good thing. And similarly, I think that we should make incentives to try to monitor misinformation on social media.
But isn't the best incentive to let it stay and then give the other side?
Like if everyone had an infinite amount of time and like access to every side, I think in principle that would be great. But ultimately, people don't, right? And the
unemployment rate amongst young people is so high. They got tons of time. They're just collecting their unemployment tax.
They're just lazy. They should just be going through these articles.
Paying for their time. They might as well put it to good use.
They should filter it for you. You should hire them as like curators, so that you get the info you want. Yeah, I just think it's a complicated issue, right? Like, and I don't do research on that field, so I don't feel, I guess, I don't really want to prescribe something, but I think just giving like free form and saying, oh, the user has to figure it out, I think that's kind of naive.
But it kind of infantilized the user, right? Basically saying, well, they're not really resourceful enough or smart enough to figure this out, so we better take it down.
Yeah, basically. I think that's a way you can put it. I mean, it's a little bit, a lot of people won't like that, but ultimately, like, I mean, you just look at aggregates, right? And you see that there's some bias or some trend or some
like with the whole Russian influence thing on the election. I remember talking with my friends and saying, let the Russians try to influence me all they want. It's not going to make a dent. but I think in their minds they're thinking, but there's so many people who are so stupid, Doug, we can't allow this. I mean, their brains can't function. And so in a way I agree with them. There's a lot of stupid people out there, but in a way it's like, how badly do you have to view society to think you need to protect them from the evil false information?
Well, I mean, it's more like just trying to decentralize. Well, there are two different ways you can go with this. Like, so I was imagining like Google, right? Like, if Google tried to influence people, Google versus Russia, right? So like, Russia, I think I'm a little bit on your side, but if like a company just had so much influence, like Google, over like an election, then I'd have like a much bigger issue with that, I guess. I don't really know why. I haven't thought about that.
But which is more? Well, I guess you would say Google's more powerful than the FBI, who talks to Facebook. And influences
allegedly. I'll have to watch the podcast.
Oh, conspiracy theories are flying now.
I think it's hard. I think Google's more powerful than the FBI at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know much about the FBI, but I know Google's very powerful, so that's why I say that.
Sorry, the U.S. government, you are nothing compared to Google. You might have tanks.
Arizona can beat all of Russia. And
Google can beat all of Russia. I mean,
Google could beat everyone. They could just take over the world if they wanted. Maybe Apple, like Google and Apple would butt heads for a little bit.
There's a lot of truth in that. Like, the U.S. government has so much aircraft and tanks and missiles, but Google has the real power.
Yeah, what is the military going to do if they can't Google things?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do I put this Tomahawk cruise missile together again? Let me ask Google.
Maybe they can use Bing, but I mean,
oh yeah, who uses Bing?
Actually, I don't use Google. I use some privacy one because I get paranoid. After working in like cryptography, I started to get more paranoid and stuff about that.
Can you say which one you use publicly?
Oh, it's called DuckDuckGo.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It's a silly name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really good.
You use Duck. How can you sleep at night knowing you use DuckDuck, a company that you named DuckDuck?
Yeah. There's another one I think called Start Page or something like that, which is a better name. That I haven't used it, so I don't know how good. And obviously maybe this isn't obvious or not, but the results are worse on these privacy preserving ones. But what I do is it's always my default. And then if I need better results, then I like open an incognito browser and like Google it.
Well,
there.
I still stick with Google because I want to know what the intelligentsia wants me to think.
You're like at a meta level?
Yeah, I'm at a meta level. Like they can't meta me. I meta the meta.
Yeah. I feel like, well, yeah, it also depends on your perspective on like targeted advertising and stuff, I guess, which is a different vector in the same, I guess, kind of field.
Or sometimes I use my search bar and then you get all the results and I go to page 30 immediately. I don't even look at page 1.
What?
Well, you know how you got different pages of results?
Yeah.
Just skip to 30. I encourage everyone here, when you have a question on Google, don't read the first page. Go to page 30. That's where the truth lies.
It's just like a bunch of conspiracies. You just Google like what happened in 9/11, page 30. It's just like these crazy.
Google's listening right now. They're going to move page 30 to page 1 now, just to bother me.
I wouldn't be surprised. Google listens to everything. They have so much data, it's absurd. But Meta does too, and we're pro Meta for at least another week. So
I still remember Google Earth coming out in.
That was so cool. I remember as a kid. I don't know if it came out. I think I was probably a kid when it came out, but I remember launching it and just like going around and having so much fun.
It was amazing. Like it's like everybody can be a peeping Tom now, really, because of Google Earth.
It is kind of cool how you can, and they also have like Street View and stuff where you can just like go look at what any place will look like, at least in the U.S. pretty much.
Do you know what you call a Inuit person who looks in the windows of other people in their own homes?
Inuit?
You know what Inuit is?
No,
okay, I have to use the colloquial term.
Yeah, I was only average on my GREs for verbal.
An Eskimo.
An Eskimo.
You know what an Eskimo is, right? That's a derogatory term for Inuit. Yeah. Anyhow, I had a friend who was an Eskimo, and he would look into people's windows. And you know what his name was?
What was it?
Tom Took a Look. That's racist.
Well, apparently I only know the derogatory term, so you're not racist.
Yeah, I'm not the racist one. I had to say a racist word in order for you to understand. That's how racist you are.
I baited it out of you. I actually knew what it was. It sounded like Intuit.
No, Inuit.
Inuit.
Yeah.
Inuit.
So the most of the Inuit are in Northwest Territories. Northern Canada.
Oh, I've only been to Canada once, so.
What part?
I don't need to know. I went to Vancouver.
Oh yeah, that's the San Francisco of Canada.
I'm in San Francisco now, so.
Oh, well, okay.
But San Fran's a lot. The weather's nicer and the transportation's worse. But
what's it like living in San Francisco? Is it true that there's bums everywhere?
Okay, so when I say San Francisco, I lied. I'm south of San Francisco. I'm in the Bay.
Oh yeah,
But,
it's because you
I
work
did,
for Facebook. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm closer to Menlo Park than San Fran is.
So you,
I mean, I guess they have like 5 campuses around here. So,
so let me guess. You live in a 900 square foot apartment, and you
No.
you live in a house?
They put me in a. No, well, for the summer, I'm in an extended stay hotel. I'm just.
Oh, you're
in
a
hotel
contractor
room right
type?
now. Well, it's an internship.
Oh, an
so
internship.
they
Okay,
just-
I must miss that part.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I still don't have my. I'm working on my PhD.
So they're paying for your extended stay hotel.
Yep.
Interesting.
And I'm paying like 3 months on an apartment.
So what do you
back
do for
where I am.
fun?
Here?
This is your fun?
Like, well, I mean, I don't call in that often, but I watch you for fun. I watch Nathan.
Do you play poker? You got to get a life. Did you play poker?
I don't have. None of my friends like to play poker.
But you do.
I'm not very good. I think I would, but I haven't played much. I know the rules.
You got
at
money?
least, but I work in Meta. Yeah.
You hear him, ladies? Are you single? You
Yes. I am.
heterosexual?
Bye.
Oh, you flip both ways?
Yeah.
How can I respect you in the morning?
All right, I'm heterosexual. I can be.
I can be whatever you want, Doug.
Yeah, I can be heterosexual if that.
Okay.
If I'm talking to a Christian, I don't want to.
Okay, but if you're willing to lose like $50 to $100, or win $50 to $100, and you like a great conversation, email me and I'll set you up. We play
just the email in your YouTube about tab.
And we play Wednesdays at 5 Pacific and Sundays at 5 Pacific.
All right, I'll be driving on that Sunday, but this Wednesday maybe. I don't know.
We do.
All right,
I'll shoot you
an
at
email.
5. We start with a tournament. That's just a $20 buy-in. That's the most you could lose is 20 unless you rebuy, and then 2 hours after that we do a cash game, and we play.
You can rebuy in the tournament just once.
3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, we have one guy who rebuys all the time. His name is Matt, and he's a great contributor to the cause. He just he has no he doesn't know what money is, and so he just keeps giving it and giving it and giving it. He's a great friend to have.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So I can.
Wait, so how many people net positive in an evening?
Well, in the tournament, usually it's the top 3 pay out of anywhere from 10 to. We usually have a full table of 10. It's not huge. The most we've had 17, I think, in the tournament. And then cash game, that varies. Like half could be net positive, but it's usually closer to a third.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically speaking.
Anyhow, thanks for coming on.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me. Showing it off again.
Yeah, the man
to
bun
people.
suits you.
Yes.
You
I'll
almost.
keep it.
I've been watching Stranger Things because I've been way behind, and I like your Stranger Things haircut.
Thank you. I just haven't cut it in 6 months or something. I just shaved it really low, and then this is just how it grows. And I'll probably shave
Well, at least
it
you
again
have
soon.
hair, so that's good.
Yeah, my grandfather didn't before he died, so I'm scared that I got my mom's dad.
Well,
so,
Ash,
yeah, I might
listen
be
to me.
screwed.
I need you to take my advice here. If there's baldness in your family and you still have hair, I need you to live today, because everything's going to come crashing down soon. So don't take anything
you
for
got it.
granted. You get your guy or your gal whatever you need now. Do not tarry.
Get it before it falls out.
Yes.
All
Because
right,
the
I'm
clock is ticking and you don't have much time left.
Oh, well. All right, I'll shoot you an email.
Take care.
See you.
Hair is overrated. Well, we live in a society, Aaron, of anti-baldites. You guys don't understand the persecution I've gone through. I mean, if you knew the emotional and psychological pain that I've had to endure because of who I am. Do I play chess? I do play chess. I haven't played much in a while, but I do like chess. I think my rating is 1100 on a 10-minute game and maybe 850 on a 5-minute game, something like that. So I'm not that good, but I'm probably better than the average Joe off the street if you just pluck them out. With chess, there's just, you got so much theory you got to memorize. I'm more of a intuitive player. I like setting traps instead of being wise. Well, there's a man bun, I bet. You're muted.
I can't do a man bun. I'm bald too.
Oh yeah.
Not enough.
Well, you got lots of hair in the back. You're new.
Yeah, and I'm not over on YouTube yet, so I see we got a delay. I figured there was.
There you go. Are you a theist?
I am a theist.
Excellent. What type?
I just like to go with theists, strictly speaking, because the more research I've done, I found that all the religions in any important manner are actually the same.
The same?
Yeah, in all the important stuff and all the stuff that you would expect to be there is where it's supposed to be. So if you come you put theism on a table, all different content. When you come at the table, what you're expecting to find there is what you are going to find there, and none of it conflicts, and they all support each other.
Yeah, but
So
Christianity is probably, well, it's definitely the biggest and most exclusive religion, right? It's exclusive.
I don't really think so.
It says that if you're not a Christian, at least many forms of Christianity say that if you're not a Christian, you're not going to heaven.
Yeah. Well, Christianity is a very misunderstood and misconstrued topic in general, because what Christianity asks of you is to accept a moral constitution. It doesn't actually say identify as a Christian, because we all have different vocabulary, we all have different words, we come from different places around the world, and it's the light of the world that is Christ. That's what saves us, and we have to accept that light of the world, that constitutional value. Wow, I'm really crooked on my Chrome here.
Yeah, but Christianity says that there's only one way to the kingdom of heaven, and that's through Jesus. And depending on which Christian you ask, the ways you get there is to accept the gift of salvation, to take up your cross, to confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, or to be one of God's elect if you're a Calvinist. And it says basically if you don't do that, and you're given a clear presentation of the gospel and you reject it, that you are at risk of the eternal flames of hell.
Well, the problem with the people that preach that and teach that, because there are all different kinds of corrupt churches, right? You get, I'm going to refer to them as atheists loosely here. Like in Canada with the residential schools and the claims that they make, you got the KKK, you've got different denominations of the church, and they all come at things differently. But, okay. Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm so crooked here. I'm having a hard time.
That's right. No, you want to be 1/3 off. You don't want to be dead center, because then people won't love you as much.
Oh, that makes sense.
I should do the same. I should be like this.
Yeah.
I tell you, the women are digging us now.
So when those people are talking about Jesus and the acceptance of Jesus, it is in direct conflict with the actual scriptures themselves. Because if you bear false testimony, such as to assert or put confidence or stock in something that you don't know factually and veraciously is guaranteed to be a legitimate vessel for your hope, then you're a blasphemer. You've denied Jesus Christ, the Word of God, the light of the world, and you're exempt from entry into heaven on account of that. So,
but the Gospel of
Christianity
John
doesn't
says
actually-
that the author says he writes the things he writes because he wants people to know that they have eternal life. He wants the scriptures are pretty clear that you can know that you're saved and that you can know that God is real, and Romans chapter 1 and
Yeah, but as far as what is fallible or arguably fallible, what can be conceived as fallible in the scriptures isn't something that you're expected to put stock in. You're expected to put stock in the moral values that it's promoting, and that's your redemption. That's your savior.
okay. Yeah, so basically you're saying that it's what you do, not what you believe.
But with a lot of amnesty and mercy going towards what you do, and a lot more being on who you are trapped in your course of life.
This is interesting because
limited-
your appearance and what you're saying are two different things. You look like a welder on a pipeline who is preaching the touchy, lovey-dovey parts of Christianity. Am I right?
I dig weeping tile. I work with a shovel all day. But
Okay, weeping tile.
I got
That was
a
cool.
welder right outside.
Pipeline, weeping tile, same thing.
It's a tube.
But so let's get back to what you really believe. You believe in a creator God?
Absolutely.
But you don't believe you can know anything about him, or do you? Or it?
Oh, I absolutely do.
Okay, so describe the God you believe in.
So God in every single religion and theology around the world is omniscience. He is the head of the Holy Trinity, or the head of whatever pantheon you're talking about. In Hinduism, it's Krishna. And Krishna is the copious sum of everything. In Christianity, God the Father is omniscience. He's the copious sum of everything. Allah is omniscience.
Okay, wait, slow down. So you believe God is a Trinity or no?
Trinity is one way of divvying up his attributes into something that can be specified.
What are the attributes of God? List them for me.
Okay, so you have a body, and I have a personality. And so my personality and my body are two separate entities and attributes of myself. And then there's my legacy. So you say, who kicked that ball? I kicked that ball. And so that's not.
But Gord,
my
I'm asking
mind,
about God,
and
not
that's
about
my
you.
body. That would be my Holy Spirit if I were God. So the active force taking place is one characteristic of his person that we specify. Then we specify him as an individual, and then we specify his copious and immense power in his body as omniscience as being separate from his personality, because he chooses to not identify as omniscience firstmost, but as being the constitution which he appoints as our redemption, our path to salvation, success, and utmost enlightenment.
Are you saying God has a body?
Oh, that's no, he's not a sky daddy.
Okay.
But,
what is God then?
God is the grand total sum of every conceivably fathomable trait, whether or not it is a trait which a mind has the capacity to conceive.
So God is everything?
Yes, but beyond everything in the material realm, he's everything in the conceptual realm as well.
So if God is everything, you've actually said nothing. Right? Have you seen the movie Incredibles? The Incredibles? Pixar?
Yeah.
You remember? It's a great movie, right? Remember that one line where Syndrome says, if everybody is incredible, then no one is. If God is everything, then he's really nothing.
How can 1 equal 0?
Well, there's nothing to say to pinpoint. If you're saying he's everything, then
when you're trying to perceive him, it's very ambiguous and difficult, because you're trying to associate the copious sum of your perception as being something that you can. I'm going to use the word.
Well, let me be very crude here. And just ask you questions, and you answer lean yes, lean no, or I don't know. Is God omniscient? Does he know everything?
Yes.
Past, present, and future.
Yes.
Is God omnipotent? Can he do anything that's doable as long as it's not a logical contradiction?
Yes.
Okay. Is God spirit?
Yes.
Is he body? Does he have a body?
He's material in a sense.
He's material in a sense. Okay. Does God care about who you sleep with?
Yes.
Does he care?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Does he hear your prayers and sometimes answer them?
Yeah.
Interesting. Does God?
Can I begin you with an anecdote? Do you got like a list of questions you can go back to, or because I can just let you answer?
Well, I want to keep going with this. Does God have a personality?
Yes.
Wants, desires, wishes?
Yes.
Okay. Is God jealous?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Did God take the form of a man 2,000 years ago?
I do not believe. Wait. Yeah, I don't believe so, nor do I particularly think so. But I couldn't suggest that he didn't, because I would be bearing false testimony.
Okay, so you lean no, but you don't know for sure.
It's not a pertinent aspect of theism.
Okay. Do you believe God took the form of the Buddha in history?
It's easily possible. The world is old enough that in order for that to have happened and us losing any evidence that that's veracious, like it's just possible we lost any evidence of it.
Do you believe God is falsifiable? Meaning that there would be a test you could run to say, oh, this God does not exist.
No.
Not falsifiable.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's unfalsifiable for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got a good feel of where you're coming from. But the last question I asked you, is he falsifiable? Then I would say it's no use believing in this type of God. Unless you're just doing it for psychological reasons.
Well, so can I address that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I think there's an immense use in believing in this kind of God, because my religion as a Christian is that human beings are actually immortal in the flesh. If we accept the light of the world, we need not die. Jesus has died for us. You reference the gospel there. I don't even like using the word gospel because it puts it on a higher level of esteem than I appreciate referring to it. But geez, I forget exactly what you said. As an immortal, given that we die because we're vulnerable, this path to enlightenment is the only means by which we can survive. That's, as a Christian, that's the principal core to the whole theology, really.
Well, what does this belief that you have that God is everything and you answered all the questions like you did, what does it give you? How does it help you in your life?
It doesn't change your experience in reality for the most part, and it shouldn't. It provides you with a faculty to survive. And that faculty to survive would entail that the environment that we're in needs to be sustainable and stable on a social, economic, and environmental level. And Christianity is the only thing that is very clear in comparison to the other theologies on how to do that. That's why I first most identify with Christian as a theist.
Christianity is very clear on how to deal with the environment?
It's clear on the moral principle and your obligations.
Okay, but you
want me to clarify that? I'm sorry, I'm stumbling. I guess I'm a little bit nervous to be on here with you.
That's right.
To be honest.
That's right. It's just Like, let's say you and I agreed on a good way to help the environment, and you are a theist, and I'm an atheist. Doesn't that mean like I don't need a God to do these things?
No, well, yes. Yeah, absolutely. I believe in naturalism in that sense of what we have the faculty to do. But what we are faced with is 7 billion other people on the planet who are corrupt, malcontents, miscreants, untrustworthy, and we're all ignorant to some extent, but foremost, we're even more naive. And without being able to address and appeal to the full population, I would argue that you very blatantly lack a faculty to achieve any meaningful long-term goal, because what you're doing is actually gratifying and satisfying the perspectives of the wicked by suggesting, well, I don't need to face objective morality.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere. So you're saying you need, are you, let me see, tell me if I'm hearing you correctly. I'm hearing that you need the big stick of God to lay down the law, which I don't have, but you do.
No.
No?
No, it's actually kind of the antonym of that. It's that you're gratifying their perspectives. It's not about dissuading their perspectives. It's not about providing an alternative perspective. It's about the fact that you're literally just promoting the conscious prerogative or idea that wickedness is acceptable and tolerable because the morality of it's
How have I promoted wickedness
and the
by
7 billion people out here can't be fucking trusted with that standard of morality.
How am I promoting
at all.
wickedness again?
You're complimenting their perspectives.
Oh, I don't compliment their perspectives most of the time.
But they take it, it's inherently, it's by default a compliment to their perspectives.
Like I bash, I'll even use the word bash. I bash a lot of things about Christianity, Islam, Judaism.
But it has nothing to do with what you say. It has to do with that one intrinsic piece of information that you don't need God to be good. And thereby, as an atheist, because you don't need God, they're saying to themselves, there is no God, there is no objective morality, and you've complimented and gratified that perspective.
And why is that bad?
Sorry, je parle en français. Retard's like a slow word. It's not a handicap. But sorry, you said why is it bad?
Yeah. To do what I...
Well, we end up with people destroying the environment. We end up with rapists. We end up with psychopaths. We end up with bigotry, broken homes, broken families, broken political systems.
Tell me if I got this right. You're saying that if I come out in public and say I'm an atheist, yet I can still do good moral things, whatever that means, I'm doing harm because people...
They use it as a weapon.
I'm doing harm because people will see and hear that and say, maybe I don't need God either. And why is that bad again?
Oh, it's not about converting them. I'm specifically thinking the more contemptible characters in general, because the more contemptible characters, they don't have that moral boundary, so they're actually very active and actively wicked in a broad range of ways, whatever kind of facet, whether it's sex.
So are you saying I'm making are you saying I'm making the wicked people more wicked?
You're not making them more wicked. You're not accountable for that. It's them. But nonetheless, if you got a crowd of 100 people, you've got those highly volatile and active people, and those highly volatile and active people excite themselves by hearing it and processing and going, woo!
Okay, so it's not my fault then.
It's a fault, but their actions are not your fault.
I'm partially at fault.
From God's perspective, as how you affect the Holy Spirit.
So by me being an atheist and saying I can do good things like you do, as an atheist, I'm making, or no, I am partially responsible for making wicked people be more wicked. Hear you right?
I feel comfortable being wicked is the way I would probably just limit the specification, because it's people in the world are complex and each individual.
Can you give me an example of something really wicked that you're talking about?
So when I use examples, I try to use the ones that I can actually back up personal experiences. So I've got a friend that started selling cocaine and crystal meth and all different kinds of hard drugs in high school. And he had absolutely beautiful girls, and he ruined their lives. And he's ruined multiple women's lives. He's stabbed people. He's hit people with cars. He's done all different kinds of terrible things.
Okay.
It's just and
okay. Well, there's a good example. Is
that other people?
You gave a great example of a wicked action, in my opinion. Taking a knife and stabbing a woman.
Ooh.
Okay. Now, do you think God could command that?
Technically, no.
He couldn't.
But conditionally, yes. Conditionally, yes. But generally speaking, no.
So what you're saying, in some situations, yes, God could command your friend to kill a woman.
That's a very peculiar thing, but conditionally, yes, that is technically possible.
Okay. So really, as a person who's seeking truth, like you are, when you see this wicked action of a man taking a knife and stabbing a woman, you need to ask yourself, did God command this first, right?
No.
No?
No, because I'm already perceiving the environment. I'm already processing things. And I already have I hate reusing the word faculty, but I already have all the necessary assets.
Yeah, but your perception,
whether or not God is even involved.
Correct,
in
but your perception and your analysis could be flawed, right? And that God actually commanded this.
Yes, that statement is true. But that's really exempting the fact that God is literally omnipresent. And he is part of our physical reality. And we are provided with all the necessary faculty that we need to.
But what I'm getting at is, how do you really identify wicked actions if God could command a wicked action that you and I would say is wicked, but it's really for good because God has morally sufficient reasons?
Okay, so God being omniscience has an epitaph. There's an epitaph to the copious sum of everything, like a mathematical program printout.
Why are we talking
about? That is his identity.
Why are we talking about this?
Wait, because his identity is easily specified. It is easily recognized. And so determining whether or not this identity has anything to do with the command is actually very simple.
Okay, very good. So you're saying you can identify when God is acting very simply?
Yes, but that's kind of like a two-part answer, because God is the foundation of our reality. So he's always acting. And so
how do you tell when God's acting and when God's not acting?
Attributes are in play. Yes, you can identify that.
How do you tell when God's acting and when God's not acting?
Oh, that's generally very, very incredibly difficult and ambiguous.
But didn't you just say you can recognize when God is there and acting?
Well, you used an example that was incredibly controversial, and an incredibly controversial situation is easier to discern than just monotonous ones.
I know, but you said it. I thought you said it was kind of simple to identify when God's there and when he's acting. Didn't you say that or no?
Well, when it's controversial, it sure is. But when you're talking about like a leaf blowing on the tree in the wind, that's a little bit more beyond you, because you'd have like a psychotic breakdown if you tried to do the math on that.
You're saying it's simple to identify. Hang on, with controversial stuff, it's simple to identify?
Yeah. And with simple stuff, there's not enough evidence to easily and swiftly come to a rational conclusion.
So you're saying that when a man stabs a woman, it's simple to identify that God had nothing to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Because God's character, the epitaph of omniscience, is an identifiable attribute that is in direct conflict to that initiative.
Okay, so you reject all the Old Testament, then, all those atrocities it talks about?
No, not at all. Not even close. No,
you accept that God commanded the killing of the Canaanites and the Amalekites?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a clear example where God commands the Israelites to kill women and children, yes?
Yes. Every man, woman,
but
child.
didn't you just say it's simple?
I got a palmaris longus. I have a sixth tendon in my arm that goes up to a finger I don't have. I have a tendon in my arm.
Why are we talking about your
longus.
tendon?
It's just funny because the people in that region, the guy allegedly had 6 fingers, and I have a tendon for it in my arm.
But let me get this clear. I think you just said that it's simple to know that God didn't have anything to do with a man picking up a knife and stabbing, but you believe that in the Old Testament, God commanded men to pick up knives and stab.
Well, murder and killing are 2 separate things, right?
Right. I didn't use even the word murder. I used the word stab.
Yeah, but a guy coming about and picking up a knife and stabbing a woman, that'd be murder, because even if you had a voice in your head that gave you signs and provided you with everything that you felt was necessary to say, this is God telling me to do it, it stands in direct conflict to all God's voraciously determined attributes. And so you can easily determine that even if God said it to you, God demanded that you do it, he wanted you to do this seemingly, you are actually in direct conflict with him, and you're in contest with the light of the world.
Can you answer this for me? True or false? In the course of history of mankind, the God you believe in did order the killing of children. True or false?
Yes.
Okay. So God is capable of that type of commandment.
Yes.
Okay. So God is also capable of commanding someone today to pick up a knife and kill a child.
Well, the biblical story of creation, the planet expanded from within itself.
Is that a yes or no?
Stuff.
Is God today? Could God command something like he did back then?
No.
No. Why not?
Because he would be in conflict with the light of the world in doing so.
Was he in conflict with the light of the world back then?
No, because the light of the world in the context of today would be the scripture and the history that the foundations of society today are in place, and he would have to go against the scriptures which testify his own existence. So he'd be his own political opposition to do so, because the scriptures say there will be no more prophets.
So let me get this straight. When God commanded, let me get this straight. When God commanded the killing of the Canaanites, it wasn't written down in scripture yet, so therefore it was okay.
That's not what makes it okay. What makes it okay is that they're giving human sacrifices and feeding dragons. They're pedophiles. They have
the children were pedophiles.
They're cannibals.
The children were the toddlers were offering up sacrifices.
They desolated the forests. They were killing animals.
The children were desolating the forests.
They were pedophiles. They were all these different. Well, so the Norse have a whole chronology about Loki, the adopted son, and how he was a complete debauchery and failure as a scientific practice. And it is very difficult to raise people to be understanding and compassionate
Gord,
when you just kill off.
I don't know why we're talking about I don't know why we're talking about the Norse now, but you seem like you're stuck because on the one hand, you believe God commanded the killing of children long ago, but on the other hand, you don't believe he would do it today nor command it today. Is that a good summary?
Yeah.
And your reason to think that he could do it back then, but not do it now is because now we have scripture and God wouldn't go against scripture, even though he would go against it in action minus the scripture.
What do you mean he would go against it?
Well, you're saying that God wouldn't command that today because, well, first of all, is there anything in scripture that says God can't command the killing of children?
Says there's not going to be another prophet.
Yeah, that's not my question. Is there anything in scripture that says God will not command the killing of children?
Yeah. There will be no more prophets. God won't command anyone to do anything.
God will not command people to do anything anymore?
Yeah, it's the time of commandments is over. It's a waiting game for him now.
Waiting for what?
He's waiting for us to prepare the kingdom of heaven.
So do you believe that Jesus will return?
Jesus will return when we prepare. And Jesus is a spirit that has been there with the creation of the planet.
Do you believe Jesus will come back to earth?
The idea of, the Son of Mary coming back to the earth is not something that I put stock in. He may. That would be great because that would be God's wise decision, but I have no stock in that whatsoever. I couldn't.
Okay.
It'd be hypocritical.
Because where I was going with that is the Book of Revelation for a lot of Christians, they believe that's in the future, and there's a lot of commanding in the Book of Revelation. With the end times,
what do you mean?
God will command people to do stuff. Yes,
but he's
right.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So okay,
That's
so
true.
now you're stuck. Now you're
It
stuck. It was saying this: God commanded people to do stuff back then to kill, and He may or will do commandments in the future, but
Okay.
not today.
What commanding takes place in the Book of Revelation? I don't have a Bible anywhere near me. I got Google, but that's going to take
Let me
forever.
ask you my.
Can
Well,
you give me an
I don't want to
example of
get into a
commands?
Bible study in the book.
Wait, but you're acting like you've provided evidence to beat me, but what commands are you actually making an inference to? Anything off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, well, He'll command the dead to rise in Christ.
Oh, that doesn't count as a command. He's not telling like someone to go and build a house. Is there another command that you might be able to refer to?
Okay, I'll give it to you. 0 commandments ever again.
Yeah, because that's the situation that we're inclined to bode
So you're
with.
saying God doesn't speak to you today then and tell you to do stuff?
Oh no, God talks to me all the time. It's absolutely ridiculous. I was hoping I can
Does
regale you
God
with a
ever
story.
tell you to do stuff today?
Yes. I very seldom.
But you don't call that a command?
No. Because he's a friend. Can I regale you with a story?
No.
Though? Oh, but that's the best part.
No. Because what if I were to say, your friend who picked up a knife and stabbed someone said that God told him to do it. And you said, well, God would never command that. And he said, no, God didn't command me to do it. He just told me to do it as a friend.
But you couldn't suggest that God told you to do something like that.
Why not?
Because okay, I got a puppet on my hand, and I tell you, stab that person. Stab that person. So I'm, in this example, literally God, literally telling you, stab that person. But it's not God telling you, because that's not God's character.
How do you know what God's character is like? Is it God's character to command the killing of
Because he's
babies?
a living, personable God who has testimony all about him, and it's very self-evident.
Is it
would
in
be
God's
expected.
character to command the killing of babies?
No.
Has God ever commanded the killing of babies?
Yes.
You don't see a problem there? Does
No,
God's
because
character
it's a
change
conditional
over time?
It's not a change over time. It's a situational
Okay,
reaction.
so God's character does not change. God's character is one that would never command the killing of children. God did command the killing of children.
He won't command the killing of children. And he's only, done it once? And it was a very conditional context.
He only did it once. No, he did it more than once, actually.
Yeah, it was a genocide, but hey. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Gord. Why are you punishing yourself? You don't need this.
I actually proved creation is a scientific fact. I solved perpetual motion and I made it generate work with multiple different methods and models. I debug everything. Unlike
You made a perpetual motion machine?
Super active and super accomplished.
You made a perpetual motion machine?
Yeah.
Do you have it there?
No, it's not here. It's 15 feet long. If you get a 15-foot long ramp with a 1-inch grade with a 1-inch lip on the end, you put a 4-foot ball on it, the ball will roll right over the edge. So you put a dumbbell on a rail, and at the end of it, you make it so it shifts onto another rail that goes the opposite direction. It'll go back and forth, and you can pull a ridiculous amount of weight. And so if you make the axle heavier than the circumference, all the way to like as if it were a spear, but you can make it bulkier than that too, it will drag shitloads of weight back and forth. It would be like saying, take a 10-foot concrete cylinder, put it on the top of a 1 foot high ramp, make it 32 feet and put a 1 foot high lip at the end of it. And then put a scientist that says perpetual motion doesn't make work at the end of it and tell him to stop the ball from going over the end. You'll kill him.
So you've overcome
easy way
friction.
to make work almost zero wear.
You've beaten friction.
Pardon? No, friction's not enough to stop a ball from rolling over a lip at the end of a ramp.
But you say it just keeps on going forever?
Yeah.
So if we start the ball going, there's no other external forces involved other than gravity?
Yeah. The only thing that will ever cause it to stop is that minimal amount of wear and tear, eventually making it wobble a little bit and then damaging your ramp.
So how long have you had it going? Is it going right now? The marble?
No, I don't have the thing set up. There's no point in setting it up.
Why not? This is, you can get the Nobel Prize.
Generate enough energy to bother. Yeah, but I don't want to give I do not want to give the censorship generation of child grooming Democrats and liberals that.
I can understand that. Because who knows what they'll do with it, right?
Well, yeah, no kidding.
They'll probably give it to Europe so they don't have to trust Russia anymore or something. I don't know. Because they can get all the energy from that.
I am Russian.
You are Russian.
I am Russian.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for coming on, Gord. It's been fun.
Oh, but please let me regale you with a story.
No,
God gave me evil and actually evil.
No.
What the shit?
See what happens? Hey, what's that Captain Dadbod guy? You see why my hair's going? You see why my hair is falling out? No, Justin, I see that. I gotta stop. I can't. Oh, I'll let you in for a minute. I mean, oh, nice colors.
Thank you.
My
Doug,
goodness.
you need to stop.
Why do they find me?
Because it's only weirdos like us who ever do this kind of thing. And people who have more or better things to do in their life don't do this. That's why.
Yeah, you're right. And that goes to everybody in the live stream
I think
chat.
you need to be more judicious with the disconnect button.
Oh no, you saw I was having a little bit of fun.
Were you? Was it worth like the few aneurysms that you got during that conversation?
I've had worse.
That's true. And that's kind of my point.
What did you do? Like, it almost looks like that painting in the background is right there, and right behind your head, like right in here.
I think it's just blurred behind me. Let's see if I can change that.
It's like I'm in the episode of Stranger Things.
There you go.
Whatever you're doing, it works. Don't change a thing. Oh wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Go back to the blur, because the blur is actually kind of cool. Yeah. I would stick with the blur in the back. Yeah.
I'll stay with the blur.
Yeah. Anyhow.
When's the last time that you feel like you had a conversation that was like good? Where a conversation with a theist specifically, where you felt like you got something out of it besides just
that I got something out of it,
like playing with your food.
Oh, no, the guy who plays poker with me, he's still a Christian. His name Kevin. He came on. That was good. For apologists, I would say Stuart. How do you say his name? Konecki, whatever his.
I have no idea.
He came on. He's the redhead guy. That went very well. That was years ago. But it's not too often. I'm wasting my life, Justin.
I feel like this era might have passed, and I regret saying that because I enjoy our content, but like for your own mental health.
Oh no, this does it. What takes a toll is just the time, but it's not. I don't think it's causing me any long-term damage.
Just opportunity cost.
Yeah,
right?
well, but it's Labor Day, and I had nothing else to do.
Yeah, it's Labor Day. It's a holiday. Neither you nor your wife have work. Your children don't have school.
Well,
and here you are.
Well, I started this live stream when they were still asleep, except for my wife was up. But yeah, I should probably go and hug them and kiss them and thank them that they're not like Gord.
You're in Texas,
No,
right?
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay, so it's like 2:30 where you are.
Yeah, it's 2:30, so there's still a lot of the day left. But it's 100 degrees outside. It's incredibly hot. Can't really do anything outside.
Does your family sleep until noon or something? Is that
well on a holiday? My kids definitely do, but
that's fair. Go play with your kiddos.
Yeah, we'll probably watch Stranger Things again. We're on season 3, episode 6. I just started. I just got Netflix for the first time.
I watched. Oh, congratulations! I guess. I watched about a dozen episodes into it. I liked it. Didn't finish it though.
Oh, really?
I liked Winona Ryder's performance a lot.
Oh yeah, she's lovely. She's probably one of the prettiest actresses out there. And I loved her in the movie. It's a nihilism movie with Keanu Reeves. Do you like romantic?
Is that one of his like 90s? Was that one of his 90s cyberpunk films?
No. It's a romantic comedy, except with a nihilistic bent. What's it? Someone in the live chat probably already typed it. Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder. But watch it, you'll love it.
I think I've seen this one. A Scanner Darkly?
No, that's not it. I'm not looking at the live stream chat, but I'm sure someone's already done it. Oh, you're gone. It's called Destination Wedding.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, I didn't hear you. You said
no worries.
I lost connection. But yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, it's sort of like a dark, well, not dark, it's just a very dry humor.
I'll put it on my list, though I struggle to watch TV and films if I'm by myself.
Yeah, I can understand that. You kind of said that like you're sad. By myself. Are you lonely, Justin?
I am not lonely, Doug.
Do you need someone? Do you have someone in your life?
In what context?
Do you have a girlfriend?
Are you offering?
No.
Oh, okay.
Are you like the other caller? Do you swing both ways, or do you?
Are you interested, Doug? Is that why you're asking?
I'm a man of options. I always like options. I'm in finance. You know what an option is?
That's fair.
The right, but not obligation to exercise.
So I guess then, like, how good would it have to be to overcome like your female preference? I guess.
Well, I would almost put it in terms of what would be worse. Like, imagine a really fat guy with boogers out of his nose and halitosis breath, so I could kiss that guy or kiss you. I'd choose you.
Thank you, Todd. Oh, it's I'm glad to know that I'm better than some foul-breathed booger man.
Yeah, I would.
That's
because I get the impression you have some hygienics.
I do try.
You shower today, right?
Not yet, but I'm going to the gym later.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, conserve water. Shower after you get sweaty.
I don't want to shower twice in a day.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's just
Okay.
Oh, this does remind me one thing before I go, because I'm gonna hop off in just a minute. You had gone and said like there needs to be better word for like compared to LGBTQIA+, I think the acronym is
I already
now.
came up with it.
I absolutely agree. That's a very, very silly term. The term you're looking for is queer.
No. You just say not straight.
Just say queer. That's one syllable instead of two.
But does queer encapsulate everything?
Yeah.
You're saying gays are queer?
Yep.
They seem very reasonable to me.
I mean, and that's what I call myself.
No, does it?
Both because
this is
it's
wrong.
easier.
This is false.
Both because it's easier, Doug, and because like it's actually not anyone's business who I am and am not attracted to, right?
But the term queer, doesn't it imply a certain type of coitus?
No.
Or a certain style?
No.
Okay, so what is queer about two opposite sex people having missionary style? Like, that's not queer at all. That's like boring normal.
If they're opposite sex, then that's straight.
Right.
Do you mean same sex?
What do you do with your fingers there?
I did this.
Oh, get away.
Am I making you uncomfortable,
Stop
Doug?
it. No. Icky. Are you done?
I'm done.
Thank you.
So
not straight's better.
As a catch-all, I personally recommend saying that anything that doesn't fall under this red umbrella, just call it queer. That's easy. It's one syllable. It's inclusive. If you identify that way, you can. If you don't, you don't. It's fine.
Okay.
If you want to be more specific, you can be. But yeah, the big old acronym has always been kind of silly and has gotten pretty ridiculous.
I agree. Okay. Glad that you hopped on. I love your colors. Adios to my queer friend. Didn't give him a chance to rebut. All this chicanery and debauchery in the world. What you atheists are doing to me. Get back to your writing, Rosemary. My bald avatar has been resubmitted. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, let's show it. This is my new avatar. Aren't I sexy? Oh, I love it. This is my new avatar. Whoa. I need to get a little tan though up there on the top. I mean, it's already nice and tan. I am gorgeous, bald. This is... I mean... This is good. I'm hot. Look at that. Wow. Poof. Thanks, Caustic Kim Productions. I will get the Wichita Home Office to put that in circulation. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great Labor Day. Take care.